And today we are back with the usual suspects. The whole cast and crew today of The Long March are back. God, we return to what I think maybe at least episode 10, maybe even 11. Holy shit, that's a lot of maths for me to do. Far too much. But yeah, we've got everyone back today, so let's go around the cast and crew, figure out who we are and whom we are playing today. And let's start with our good friends who have been here with us all along and haven't betrayed us and left us. That sounds like Torskul. How you doing, Torskul?
Hey, how are you? Doing good. Looking forward to, not be fighting, incredibly powerful fiends in, basically giant toilet bowls full of shit. That's kind of what I'm looking forward. I'm just saying not more of that today is kind of my, that's where I'm setting the bar. Not fighting demons.
Not today.
That's where I have my expectations set.
Squall, did you not get the memo? I'd be very disappointed.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Anyway, I'm playing Gavin. He is a paladin of St. Cuthbert and a death cleric of the Raven Queen. And he's trying to somehow keep this ragtag group from imploding on itself while also trying to keep, the boss from the last campaign living in his head from maybe being a bad thing again. I don't know. It's a troubling time for Samuel, for Gavin. He doesn't even know who he is anymore.
It's okay. Hush now. No tears. Yes. Only dreams now. Fantastic. We have Laurelania back with us today. How is it going?
It's going. I am definitely awake and have not, only had like 6 hours of broken sleep with a fire alarm and a manager pounding on the door. I feel great. Good old gamer sup.
Well, that's awfully that's an awfully specific thing not to have happen to you.
Yeah, great. I'm ready to get my hands back, hopefully. Or Zune is ready to get her hands back, hopefully. And she's sad because she had a squire finally, someone who she could whip and beat and take out all of her frustrations on. But somebody, viewer chat, made him burst into a ball of flame. So thanks for that, guys.
How do you whip someone with no hands?
I mean, I'm a drow. I can think of it. Something. Don't worry.
I'll tell you later, Josh.
Fantastic. Ready to go.
We'll tell you when you're older.
Yeah. When we're not live on the internet. We also have Aho back with us today. How's it going, my friend?
Going well. A little bit tired today, but you know what? That happens.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's weird.
When I was a kid, people was like, "Oh, you're gonna get so tired." I'm not so tired. I never understood, but now that I'm getting older, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand what it means like to get tired. So yeah. So I'm playing Aureus today. I'm playing a druid, a wood elf druid, and he successfully took part in helping cleanse the land from a fiend who was basically siphoning the land of life, and he received some attention from the local townsfolk. And being an isolationist and a hermit, he didn't take very kindly to that. So that's where he left
I vaguely remember them saying, "Please, please, oh mighty hero," and you were like, "I will blight you if you continue to
He's
touch."
Like, if you don't back up, I'm gonna blast you. That's Aureus in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that's all of our good friends. So let's go now to the other person here, Louise. How's it going, Louise?
I feel very personally attacked right now. I'll have you know I have been here the entire time. Never missed a single week. I've always been here. I was just a bit quieter the last times, but I was here.
And invisible. Yeah.
Yes. But I am now visible again and loud again.
Impressive.
So, I'm back and I'm super duper excited to be back playing Kasna from a sweet, sweet murder child who I'm very excited to see what's going to happen to her, because I've been speaking a bit to Josh about, what's been going on with our good friend Kasna in the backing scenes. I was like, well, she's fucked. But then I saw the last episode and I was like, not as fucked as you guys. So,
not as fucked as you guys. Well, get ready to be, because we fuck everything, it seems like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
That is Gregor's motto.
That really is very much my motto. Also the reason why I've been arrested several times. But yes, for tonight I will be reprising my role as Gregor Toscan. And Gregor is a dwarvish fighter and warlock. And he's just trying to get the job done, really. You know, he's just trying to get there. He'll...
Can we just have that sound effect once more? Yeah.
Tuscan! Yeah, those are his last and middle names, respectively. But yes, Gregor is looking to get the job done. He's happy to wade through tons of actual shit to get to where he wants to be and to murder things. So
he was the one party member who was super into the last episode.
he was
Everyone else
he was a little bit too into it. Yeah. He was weirdly into it. Yeah, Gregor is like a mixture of Malcolm Tucker and Gottschalk Gurnison. So, yeah. Josh, do you want to remind us what happened last time as well? No.
No, I've no.
Erased it.
Let's not. So yeah, you guys went back to the bar, the Pissed Fox, and having a certain member of the party is in contact with something greater than the sum of your parts. He is in contact with someone who is sort of responsible for the last great war of this world and has been in talks. This will be Gavin, who has Hex, the leader of the opposition in the last war, which has come to an end in sort of the last month or so. Lodged in his brain somehow. He's not really sure how it works, and from what he understands, Hex isn't entirely sure how that works either. But Hex is hiding out in Gavin's head and tasked him. He said he had a task for him, but in the meantime, he wanted to test Gavin and his motley crew. And in the way of all campaigns, he will test him by throwing him into the shit. So the party went and hunted down something that has been blighting the land, which will be a very, very powerful devourer, which it fucked people up. It was glorious. Managed to roll over 100 damage in one attack. Yeah, it was good. It was a good night.
Good times.
Somehow the party managed to survive and vanquish this beast and also blow out the glass bowl that was basically the waste bowl of this world where everything was being dumped, bodies, human waste, anything at all was sort of all thrown into this big pool, this lake of glass. And they drained that as well into the mine below, which is lovely. And that is where the party sort of left off, covered in shit. But now heroes, known as the Undying Heroes, and supposedly 10 grand richer. They have a bounty to cash. So
hell yeah,
we're going to ignore that entirely and look at a little drow bitch.
Damn. Also, before we go there even further, which I'm excited to explore, let's Randy goes how you can interact with today's show. Of course, if you haven't followed, follow. Here's a tweet for you guys, and of course, you can donate to affect the game as well, giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and so much worse. So check it out, my friends. And of course, you can check out our sponsors. These past few weeks are Dice Geeks and of course Power Virtual Tabletop that you can check out there. All right, other than that, let's head on over and.
So just because I've been saving it for her return, I would like to give my subscriber Wild Magic Surge as a gift from Aquila to Kazna, a Wild Magic Surge,
Wait a
which
minute,
I've been
subscribers
saving
get
all
Wild
month.
Magic Surges?
Every month, yo.
Subscribers, yeah, you get a free Wild Magic Surge.
Motherfuckers, I didn't know that. I've got like.
So you have one too to give to somebody.
I knew Aquila would
Just-
come here somehow. She always finds a way.
This is true.
I've
The
forgotten how to roll.
the divine
Roll
touch of
20.
Aquila.
I've forgotten how to do the thing. It's /R space some dice and then
What?
and then
D10,000.
D10,000.
there we go.
Do it.
First roll back.
Scared.
Make it a doozy.
Oh, it's a big one.
Oh, it's a big
it's a
one.
big
Oh, it's a big
Oh.
one.
Big one.
That's
It's
all.
a big one.
Oh, it's a big one. Oh, look at that. 9516. Oh, no memory, record, or evidence exists about the last 1d10 turns? Shit.
Oh my
We
god.
deleted history.
You know what? Roll me a
Yeah,
d10.
right.
Asna.
Oh,
That's the amount. I guess. Yeah, per
Oh.
second.
No. Can I not?
Oh,
Well,
oh,
I
no.
hope you're happy, Louise.
Okay, you know, it's,
Okay.
it's not the biggest number.
Next,
We're
past
gonna- we're gonna
36
come-
seconds.
We're gonna come back to that in just a moment.
Cool. That's cool.
So Kazna, you wake cold and damp. You are covered in mud. It is incredibly dark. You're underground. You know it immediately. You can taste it in the air. You can taste that earthy sort of texture in the air. It's almost familiar. It's almost homely, given the fact that you come from the Underdark. But this is not the Underdark. This is not in any way as grand, as dangerous. This is just a mud hut of some sort, you assume. And your head hurts. Kazna, you are missing your armor. You are missing your weapons. And you are actually missing your shoes and belts. You are wearing simple clothes, and you are lying on the floor with dirt in your mouth, face down in the dark.
Cool, good, great, thanks.
No problem.
She'll try and cough like the dirt up and attempt to get up to her knees at the least.
You get up on your knees, which isn't as easy as you would hope, as your wrists are manacled together, as are your ankles, and you look around. There are 3 earth walls. None of them are flat. They are all rough, uneven. They have stones sort of jutting out of them in places. And there is a sort of opening that in the 4th wall, and it is barred. There are heavy metal bars that have been put in place over it. And by heavy, I do mean heavy. This ain't no flimsy shit. And yeah, you see that you are in a cell of some sort.
Motherfucker. Gonna try and do what's it called again? Where you can. Oh my god, I can't speak today. I'm very nervous. Summon my sword to my hand with the Eldritch Knight thing, and try.
Cool. Okay. Roll me an Arcana check.
Oh great, good. I will. That's a 19. I mean,
On a 19, Kazna, you are trying very hard. Your head is splitting. You do not feel particularly well, but you concentrate, and in front of you, swirling in darkness and blackness, there is suddenly the hilt of a sword, and you manage to draw it from thin air, this great sword. And from the corner of your cell, you hear a very startled whimper.
turn to see. She'll turn,
There
like
is,
holding the sword.
There is a small heap of rags in the corner.
Who's there? Speak now. Who are you?
There's a sort of pause, and you see a small hand pulls back some of the rags and looks out at you. Whatever this is, it looks to be maybe a halfling or a gnome. Very, very small.
You small thing. Where are we? Who are you?
There's a long pause, and finally, are you going to hurt me?
That depends. Are you going to answer my question?
I don't know.
Then I don't know either. Where
No,
are
I
we?
don't know where we are.
Useless. Fine. Second question. Who are you?
I am Scab.
Pardon? Say Scab.
Yes, Scab.
It's an interesting name. Well, Scab, how did we get here?
The pile of clothes sort of moves, and the creature stands. And you are looking at a tiefling, probably about 3.5 foot tall, maybe a little taller, and quite clearly very, very young, and absolutely fucking terrified right now, shaking, covered in sort of filth, wearing rags, which you realize is sort of like this long, sort of raggedy coat that doesn't fit him. And he looks up at you and says, I don't know. You appeared.
You. One of them.
He suddenly just shrinks into a ball and wraps himself in the cloak. Please don't.
Have to say you're a little different to the ones I've seen before. No less
What do you-
disgusting.
I don't know what that means. What do you mean, seen before?
Do you know nothing?
I know some things.
Well, great. You don't know where we are, you barely know how we got here, you just about know your own name, and you don't seem to know what you are either. Seems to me you don't know a whole lot of useful things, Scab.
I am a boy, and I am lost.
Very well, let us start again. Scab, how did you get here? Do you at least know that, or do you not remember?
Men came. We were hiding. And they took me and my sister.
Your sister?
Yes.
I see only one of you here.
She ran.
Smart girl.
He shakes his head. She didn't run fast enough.
Stupid girl.
He looks like he sort of furrows his brow and clenches his fist, but doesn't say anything.
She'll smile almost at that. She's like, good. Yes. Would it give in to the rage, young boy? Would the talk of these men ring any bells for me? No?
I mean, there have been people going missing in town. You heard that while you were in the bar. But I mean, he clearly doesn't have a grasp of the situation, so I mean, this could be any number of things.
But would it like ring bells for what happened to me?
Give me a history check as you try and sort of recall what has happened to you.
I would love to. That's a 7.
On a 7, you remember a bar. You remember the Pissed Fox. You remember being there. You remember drinking considerable amounts.
Good place.
And singing, and then you remember leaving. But you don't remember where you were going or why you were going there. And then you woke up. You just remember walking through tents. That's it. So, yeah, it's been who knows how long. You're incredibly disorientated. You don't know how long it's been, or where you are, or what's going on, really.
I'll try and cut through the manacles that I have on my own wrists, kind of with the sword. If that's possible.
Cool. Give me an athletics check. As
that's a natural 20.
Oh, baby.
Oh,
Coming back strong.
coming back. This is my reunion.
To come
talk.
back.
So you just sort of flip the sword around, catch it sort of upside down, and drive it down through the manacles that are holding your ankles together, and are free. And you sort of manage to prop the sword up, and after repeatedly hammering your manacles against it, you sort of like break through, and you come like a hair's breadth from almost impaling your face on the edge of your blade. As sort of you slam down, and it's just there, but you are now free. You still have manacles around each limb, but you can move freely, and you have a sword.
Things are on the up.
Indeed.
These men, are they still here?
He shakes his head and then thinks about it and says, sometimes they come and they feed me sometimes, or they don't. I don't know if they sometimes are busy, or they forget, or they just don't care. They haven't been back since you appeared.
How long ago did I appear?
I woke up a little bit ago, and I watched you, because I didn't know what you would be like, because you don't look like them. So I didn't know if you were them, or if you were different.
I assure you, Scab, I'm certainly different.
Okay. You smell different.
You'll learn one day that those kind of things are slightly weird to say, Scab.
No, you don't smell clean like they do.
Again, you'll learn one day those sort of things
Just
aren't
offensive now, Scab.
It's easier to tell if people are going to be nice if you can smell what they smell like. If they smell like soap, they're generally cruel.
It's an interesting philosophy.
Well, that's what... If you can afford soap, then you're probably mean. That's what my sister used to say. But you don't smell clean. You smell familiar.
Familiar?
Yeah.
Well, regardless, I do not intend to sit and rot in this cell much longer.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to get out, isn't it obvious? I'm going to get out, I'm going to find the sons of bitches that put me here, and I'm going to take much pleasure in stripping their flesh from their skin whilst they still breathe.
He just sort of sinks back into the heap of rags. Oh. Okay. Goodbye then.
I'm going to raise my sword above my head, looking at Scab, and bring it down and try to unleash his manacles as well.
Give me another athletics check.
Please don't accidentally kill my little boy. I accidentally killed my little boy.
On a 12, you swing down, and he sort of lurches forward from the impact and sort of almost like falls onto the rear of your blade and sort of pulls free. He's now sort of entangled, sort of koala beared on your blade as you have hit you've hit his manacles, and now he's like, your sword is driven into the floor. So now he's stuck. You've damaged his manacles, but he starts to scream in sheer fucking panic as you just swung a greatsword at him, and he's absolutely convinced you are about to kill him.
Oh my God, shut up! I'm trying to help, for the love of whatever God you things believe in.
And tell me how you managed to finally snap these manacles clean off.
She'll kind of twist the hilt around so that the sharp part of the blade is like pointing, like obviously the blade's on the ground, she's going to twist it and then kind of bring it down again like a lever and try to just prise the thing open.
He begins to cry a little as Soft, and he's not quite as tough as you are, and you draw quite a bit of blood from his wrists as sort of they chafe horrifically against but they snap free and he stumbles back, and as he stumbles, like his legs, his ankle manacles snap as well, and he's just sort of laying prone on the floor, shaking, holding onto sort of his wrists through the manacles. But he looks down and looks to you and, what are you doing? I
told you that I was different to whatever those fuckers are outside. Now, do remember I could and probably would have killed you given the chance, but I didn't. Did I?
No. Okay. What now?
Now, as I said, had you been listening, we're going to get out of here.
Okay.
Do you know if they're in the area at all?
They didn't let me see. I don't know what's outside.
Right, well, here's the plan. You back to your rags or whatever, start crying or sniffling or whatever it is that you do best. I'll improvise.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm never usually the plan person, but we'll give it a go. We'll see. We'll try.
Oh, okay. And he sort of curls himself up really small and then sort of peeks out just before you leave and, please don't die.
Sure, I'll kind of stop in like my tracks and then just keep walking, not really giving that a response. So the doorway is like super barred, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, let me have a look at something real quickly. Oh, and I've accidentally exited the game. She'll head up to those bars and just kind of test them. How strong are they?
They are bloody set in place. They are very tough. These don't look like they will budge without a considerable amount of force. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. How far away is Scab from where I am currently?
Probably about 15 feet, sort of curled up right in the corner.
Is it possible for him to get a bit further away?
Not really.
Damn it.
They didn't really feel it necessary to give him a cell.
God damn. She'll just start yelling then outside the bars, like, I'm fucking awake, guys! Come and find me! Put me here for a reason, didn't you? Well, I'm up and I'm ready to talk.
There's a long sort of few minutes of silence, and then you do finally hear sort of the soft squelch of footfalls coming down.
Oh, I'm in so much pain. I'm in absolute fucking agony. I'm gonna die here in this horrible little cell, all on my lonesome with this other little thing that I don't know what it is. I'm gonna die here. Oh, I'm so weak and so happy to be here.
As a figure comes around the corner, sort of maybe about 20 foot down the corridor, sort of, you can see him approaching. And as he marches down, you notice that he's holding up what appears to be a robe. He's sort of like hoisting it up as you would hoist up a skirt to not get mud on it. And looks like he's picking his way laboriously towards you. And he comes to stop sort of about 15 feet from you, looks at you. And this is what appears to be a sun elf, a high elf. in very nice clothing. What is it you want?
What is it that I want? What I want? That's fucking cheap, isn't it? What do you want with me?
He looks at the sword in your hands. You're one of those. You can do that thing where you bring your weapon to you.
Oh, yes, how observant of you. Points for effort. I ask you again, what do you want with me? Clearly, not because of my amazing ability to do what you just said, because you didn't know about that before, did you? Wouldn't it have been nice if you did?
Well, you can't get out. And we can simply stop feeding you and let you starve to death, but that doesn't help either of us.
So I ask you again, what is it that you want from me?
You speak Undercommon, Dark Elven, yes?
Yes.
Very well. And he turns and begins to walk away.
That hardly answered my question.
But it answered mine. And he begins to trudge back up the corridor.
Hang on, it's not letting me press the button.
Okay.
He needs to make a DC 16 wisdom save because I'm going to suggest the shit out of this boy.
Okay.
I suggest you let me out of
I
this
suggest
fucking
you.
room.
You fucking stop, mate. All right.
Like, just stop.
He will roll at advantage,
Oh,
and
no.
he's an elf, and elves have advantage against being charmed.
I mean, it was worth a try.
Yeah, and he pauses and turns back to you, and let's just see. Where are you? Can you make me, please, where are you? A con saving throw, please.
I can. Will I? Is the question.
Yeah, you do. You take half of 36 damage as he turns around, sort of pauses and smiles as he raises a hand out, and you watch as something you are familiar with. You've seen your sister do this to people. He holds a hand out and dark tendrils lance out towards you, and you manage to sort of pull back from the bars, but you still get caught sort of in the hand, down the arm, as he blights you. And you hear chuckling getting quieter as he walks away down the corridor.
Fuck.
There is a very whimpering, scared bundle in the corner. Are you okay?
I'm fine. It's all part of the plan, Scab.
What now?
Well, theoretically, I suppose I could force our way out of these bars, but, and it's a big but, I doubt you'd survive it. And frankly, I have considered it, and I am still considering it, and the more you talk, the more I want to consider it.
That's okay. That's how most people think. Doesn't matter.
You don't seem to have much of a sparry attitude towards the whole thing, do you?
Well, it's the way it is.
Is it the way it has to be?
What do you mean?
Look at me. Good I am. You've never seen one of me before, correct?
Yes.
Well, I could tell you many a boring, long story about who I am and where I come from and the others that are like me. Truth of the matter is, nobody cares. about what I am, or who I am, or where I'm from, or what I've done, and yet I still do it.
So, what are you?
I'm what they call a drow. Dark elf from a land...
Because of your skin?
Yes, Scab. Well caught on because of my skin, which is darker.
Okay.
We hail from a place far, far below here. It's a place I cannot return to.
Why can't you go home?
Story for another day, Scab. What about you? What's
Oh,
home to you?
What do you mean?
Where do you come from?
I don't know. I was in a village, but that wasn't where I came from. We just went there.
No memory at all of before this village?
We were always moving. With the fighting.
Well, seems to me you're not done moving yet, unless you truly do desire to stay rotting and dying until the maggots come and eat your filthy flesh from your corpse in this cell, which you're more than welcome to do. I will not stop you. As I said, I'm going to be getting out of here, and you can too. It is a choice, after all. I'm not going to force you to do anything.
How did you do that?
Do what?
Well, they took your sword away, I think. But then they didn't, and you had it, and...
Like I said, Scab, I'm different. There are many like me where I'm from, but none quite the same.
Okay. They sound nice. They're like you.
Oh, I only wish.
And you guys sit there as, despite your calling, despite attempts to sort of chip away at the bar, you find that the mud that sort of seems to surround it is only maybe about a couple of inches deep, and past that is stone that is set into the wall. Stone that proves incredibly resilient, and you realize that you will far quicker wear down your blade to a nub than you will actually manage to chisel your way out. But Scab watches you as you sort of pace around, swear violently, go calm again, randomly lash out at things that he's not sure are really there, or maybe they are, or maybe you're just taking your anger out on the wall for some unbeknownst reason. But he occasionally continues to ask you questions about Drow, about your life. And bit by bit, he kind of comes out of his shell a little and moves closer towards you. Not too close. He still stays at the edge, but he seems less frightened by you. And soon you realize that you are going to need to sleep, and he has been quiet for some time. And it looks like he has also fallen asleep.
I don't want to sleep. See if I can. All my spells have like components they don't have, so I'm gonna go to bed.
So you go to sleep, and as an elf who sort of meditates, you sleep for some time, meditating calmly, sort of blissfully unaware. And when you do come round, you find that Scab is leaning on you and making a strange, almost chittering sound.
She's like, what the pushes off him.
Yeah.
What was that? You do not touch me.
He looks startled and what did I do?
You do not touch me.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was cold. I saved this for you. And he holds out a pretty bruised apple. It's got the sort of grit on it that tells you it's probably been on the floor, but it actually looks like he's cleaned it for you. And he says, They came while we were sleeping and threw food in. I didn't want yours to get spoiled, so I was waiting for you to wake up.
Oh. Oh. Well, it is appreciated. Sure.
And he gives you food, and it's not much. It's a meager amount. And how do you spend today? As there is next to no response. There is no calling. The corridor outside remains dark and unmoving. There are no sounds of passage or anything of the sort. And you're not even sure what time of day it is, really.
I mean, I don't suppose I could possibly find charcoal, incense, and herbs within this cell, could I?
Roll me a perception check. You've got to beat the factor of betrayal for leaving for so many weeks. Betrayal DC.
It's too high for me to ever beat.
It's too high. It is indeed. So yeah, no, you look around and you find very little of note in here, but at some point during the day, it could be hours, it could be almost like a half a day passes. You're not really sure down here, but someone comes trudging down, and it is once again an elf, same elf as before, holding up his robes. And he gets to the point where he sort of peeks and looks in. Do you come to the bars?
No, I stay where I am.
He calls out, "You awake in there?"
That depends.
I can just leave you to die in there. You know that.
You could, but you won't. We do need each other, you did say.
There are other drow.
And yet I'm the only one here.
We are interested in your bardic talents.
Hold on. Let's pause for a moment. Do you mean to tell me the only reason that I'm here is because I happen to know a song? Is that right? Is that the almighty ingenious of your entire fucking plan, riding on the fact that I happen to know the few lyrics to something that accompanied music once upon a time? Are you fucking stupid?
Very well, Kazna. I will speak to you in a week's time, and we'll see if a week without food softens your tongue somewhat. I'm sure the boy will survive a week without food.
How did you know my name?
Ah, finally. A little bit more cooperation.
How did you know my name?
You know a song known by few. Where did you learn the Song of Limor?
If we're going to be trading questions, Elf, I'd like mine answered first.
You can have your questions, or you can have food and water enough to survive until we next visit. Choose. Once again, I'm sure the boy can survive solely on heroic tales of the Underdark and the Drow.
I learnt the song years ago at a pub. Is that the interesting story you wanted to hear?
The man who sang it, the man who taught you, what did he look like? And how long ago was it?
How am I supposed to remember that? It was a stupid song from a stupid man in a stupid pub I don't know where.
And you remembered it nonetheless.
Yeah, it was an interesting tune, don't you agree?
It is an interesting tune, and it's incredibly convenient that it is known by a drow, so
It's also incredibly inconvenient that this certain song, which you seem to hold in such high regard, seems to hold the tale of a certain place. Now, I may not be the smartest going, but I can put two and two together. I am, yes, indeed, a drow. I do, yes, indeed, know the Song of Lime Moor.
and you know how to think like a drow. For example, if a drow were to lay traps, you would know where to look for said traps. If a drow were to hunt us, you would know what the signs would be.
Why are you going to Lime Moor?
That is our business and our business alone. Your business will be to transport us there.
And you expect me to transfer you there so safely without knowing why? You expect me to do your bidding and to not lead you into one of these, say, traps?
Or simply put, we will be using you to deter drow, and we will be using the boy to deter demons. But then again, we could just slit the boy's throat, let him bleed to death in your arms, and see how you feel about that. There are always more tiefling bastards to be found.
You speak so violently, and yet it seems you have no idea of what awaits in store. Those that go to Lime Moor do not come back, not because of what the drow have waiting for them there, not because they don't know how to escape or how to move past them. There's more there than you realize, than you think. There's nothing you can do there without a certain touch.
Very well. In return for your cooperation, we will remain courteous of you. We won't spoil you. If it takes violence to ensure your cooperation, I have no qualms about slowly taking you apart piece by piece. I have an associate who is more than willing to enjoy your company and damage you for my benefit.
I'd love to meet this associate.
You will, shortly.
It will be my pleasure.
And he turns and begins to head off. And there's a long sort of pause, and Scab says, "What's going on?"
What's going on, Scab, is... well, I can't quite say because I don't quite know, but fact of the matter, these men that brought us here are seeking something in a place, well, a place that's dangerous. And they need me, they need us to get them there, and, well, I refused. I'm to meet some pumped-up associate who I'm sure will take great delight in doing whatever the fuck it is he's going to do to get whatever the fuck information they need out of me so they can go and do whatever the fuck adventure they need to do to get this fucking thing all sorted. But they are not going to get it.
What does associate mean?
Imagine a person, okay, imagine that person in your head. Now imagine that person knows another person.
Like a friend?
Sort of.
Okay. So whose friend is it?
The elf. The one so high and mighty that comes here afraid to get shit on his shoes.
He backs away slowly. His friend is coming.
Yes.
He goes and curls up in the corner.
You're really going to need to stop doing that and start explaining things.
His friend is big. and scary. He's one of those.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Ignore that. Ignore the thing on the roll 20.
He's big and he's mean.
And I'm big. I'm mean.
He's bigger, and he's the one who chased down my sister.
Well, all the more reason for me to have a chat with him.
Did you shit yourself?
No. Did you?
No, I just... And you notice it as well, as you can smell the foulest smell. It smells like basically the latrine, but after someone has set it on fire, it's that gross, horrible, burnt, terrible smell of just everything that is bad in the world, and it's getting stronger.
Get behind me, Scab.
And down the corridor comes a river of shit and blood
Oh no.
and body parts.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gross.
That
You thought you were
that
gonna get
cavern
left
is
out
all
of the
flushed
shit
into.
too.
Oh, yay. That's what I wanted to happen.
You don't think you were gonna get out of not getting in the shit, did you?
What did I say at the beginning of this
hang
episode?
on, wait. Shield? Nope. Not today, Satan. Not today.
And it begins to sort of, you were at the end of a corridor, you are sort of at the bottom, and it is running down towards you, and it is coming down quite fast.
Please tell me that Gregor comes tumbling by.
Oh, hey! Hello!
Like, oh God, kill me now.
I'm coming to get you!
Elf, come back, kill me.
And as it comes washing down, Scab, very, very terrified, sort of like starts to try and climb his way up the wall in your cell, having very little luck, as he's not particularly strong and he's very malnourished and can't quite cling to the stone. But as it comes down, just this river of foulness, you see that there are bodies washing up against the grate.
Would I recognize any of the bodies?
No.
Cool.
They are incredibly bloated. They look like they have been submerged in water for weeks, maybe months. They are bulged, their eyes are sort of swollen, everything about them is just repulsive. They have wounds that are sort of bursting outwards. But you notice something about one of them. He has a set of keys upon him.
I will take those keys, good sir.
It's not easy, but you manage to sort of push your sword out, and you have to sort of saw through his belt and then loop them onto the end. And you try every single key with no avail until you get to the last one. Lady Luck smiles upon you as the water is now sort of up to your shins, rising quite quickly now. And you manage to unlock this cell door, noting that this man appears to be a miner of some sort, wearing miner's attire, with a sort of a tool belt for holding a pickaxe, a torch, various other things around his belt, and a very, very scared-looking Scab, who is up to his chest at the moment, and finding it hard to sort of stay standing as the water is pushing in, begins to sort of look at you panicked and, what do we do?
Well, I did say I'd get us out of here, and ta-da, here we are. she'll try and like grab him by the scruff of his neck and like pull him up and start just trying
weighs
to
nothing.
walk.
Yeah. You have to sort of power walk using your sword to sort of against the soft ground to push your way up, and as you make it up to the top, you see that this is all poured out. The trickles sort of stopping, but you can see behind you probably wouldn't have been deep enough to drown in outright, but you probably would have had to go to sleep at some point, and that would have been a problem. As you would have needed to sort of stay standing with your head afloat, and would have been very problematic for Scab. But there is a huge smouldering hole in the ceiling, and there is a wagon that is smashed to pieces. It looks like a mining wagon. It's quite some way up this corridor and round a winding few corners, but yeah, and you see daylight on the other side.
Heading towards that light.
You head out, and as you do, you see that there is a sign that says that it is a mine, and it is private property. Keep out. And you see that there are places for guards to sit. There is actually a sword still left in its sheath on the side. There are a couple of arrows sort of stuck in the floor, but yeah. They have apparently abandoned their post, and you walk out to hear cheering in the distance.
Do I see anything?
It's
Or
at the
just
top
hear?
of a crest. There's a lot of people around, and Scab is basically hugging your waist, trying to hide himself underneath your clothes, as best he can. So he. What's all that noise?
That
going
is
on?
called cheering. I can't see why anyone would
Why?
be cheering in a shitty situation like this, but clearly something's gone right for somebody somewhere.
We should run.
Where to?
And I don't know. Grown-ups make that decision.
Well, as resident grown-up here, I say we run to nowhere. We don't run, Scab. If you run, you'll be running forever, or you'll be running for a very short time, and I know that you know what I mean.
He looks confused for a moment, and then his eyes sort of fall up. Okay.
We do
So-
not run. We face the shit head on, quite literally in this case.
But what about all the people?
Well, all these people around, I'm sure one of them must have seen that fucking elf or his stupid fucking friend who you said is so big and so mean that I'm sure he's hard to miss. We find them, and then I
They'll
do
kill
that thing that I said before, what made you very scared, so I will not repeat it. And I'll be
They're gonna
happy.
kill me. They'll kill me.
Not whilst I'm here.
But you can't hold them all back.
That's what you think. She's gonna start walking. Like, fuck this noise.
He's sort of
I'm
like
in.
holding on to you, trying to pull you, like stop you. He's basically doing that classic toddler thing of holding onto your belt as you, or holding onto your sort of your pants as you sort of march up. And he's just, please, they're all going to kill me if you take me up there.
Fine. You. Let me look at something very quickly. Hold on. Think of things in your head for a moment. And think of them. Wow. Think of all those things in your head. Aren't they crazy? Cool. Aren't they cool? I'm gonna. There we go.
You nods.
She'll create this kind of dark, very, very dark area near the entrance of the mine and say, stand there, wait there, and nobody will see you.
He heads down into the darkness, and he vanishes entirely. And after a few moments, you just hear, "Be careful, please."
She won't respond, and she'll head off towards the cheers.
You arrive on the crest of a bowl, a huge glass bowl that is smooth but sort of uneven in places. It is rippled, and it is not. This wasn't built. This happened. You're not really sure how this happened. It looks like a crater of some sort, and whatever it was has burnt the ground to glass. It's vitrified the ground in all directions, and it sort of fans out, giving the edge of the bowl sort of like plumes up and gives sharp and almost petal-like striations that run all the way along. And on the other side, maybe sort of 40, 50 feet away, you can see people cheering. And amongst them, you can see a group standing. And even from this distance, you can hear Gregor.
No. I'd like to go back down the mine, please.
I understand.
Fuck you, you fucking great big fucking... Yeah.
Yeah.
Ambience.
It is good. It's good to have you all back.
I'll start running. Running towards the sounds of Gregor.
You run forth, and you actually have to push people out of the way because no one is paying any attention to you whatsoever. And you're coming up from behind them as you sort of like begin to force your way through. And the party, you watch as the sea parts unwillingly, like a bowling ball, is plowing through your crowd. And suddenly, Kasna appears. And I would say she smells foul, but you can't tell at this point.
Have I dumped water on us yet?
You have dumped water on you, yeah. You still need to do the flushing through. Yeah,
verbal components to spells in the shit bowl.
Yeah.
Not fun.
No. Yeah. So the party reunites. Never leave us again. I will
Bye.
drown you.
Sit your fucking ass down.
Does Gavin see her?
Yeah,
what
you
point
guys
are we
see
at?
her.
Is this after we've celebrated with the people?
You guys, literally just cleaned yourself off. Like Gavin's just washed you guys down. You're still standing amongst the people. All of you are there, gathered. It's not particularly late. It's sort of probably about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're all sort of standing there around.
Well, guys, it looked like we fucking did it.
Gavin's as soon as he sees Kasna, is going to use divine sense to see if he senses the book.
Fuck you, motherfucker! Can you? No!
Yeah, try to get that book with no hands, dear.
Yeah.
You do not sense the book.
Kasna.
Do I hear
Wait,
this,
what?
or am I still like enjoying the people?
Kasna, what the
What
fuck are
happened to
you
the book?
doing there?
Hey, the book.
Hey, what happened to the book? Yeah, go on, where's the book?
I don't fucking know where
Is-
the book is.
is the book
I don't know
alright?
where the fuck I've been.
Is it
I don't know
okay?
what the fuck's happening?
We've been worrying about the book a lot.
I swear to God, Gregor.
Gregor's he's fucking over. Wait, I'm a bit confused. I was just fighting a shit demon and now you're here. Any way connected? Was a demon holding you or something? Prisoner and now he freed you.
I don't know. Potentially, I was in a cell. I look. It doesn't matter where I was or how I got there or what happened there. I'm here.
No, I think that might be very important, actually.
And how do you feel?
I feel
Hungry.
angry. I feel very angry. I feel frustrated. I feel like I want to kill something. Does that answer your question, Gavin? That's
Oh
how I
my
feel.
god, I've missed you. Seriously, all the
Dear
others around here are
sister.
fucking crazy.
I say in Dark Elven, dear sister, is there anything you'd like to tell me that you don't want to share with the rest of the group?
In Dark Elven, I was locked in a cell with nothing, with absolutely nothing. I was chained and manacled and decimated.
So
had
just
this-
like home, then?
Yes, it very much reminded me of that. It was bittersweet, you could say. There was a
Well-
man. Well, not a man, an elf.
Ugh.
Fucking elf.
Fucking elves.
I know.
Well, it stands to reason that if you came up from underneath there must be another way out.
I don't care much for ways out. I care for finding that elf.
Exactly, and he would leave through the way out. Use your brain. And also, you owe me 40 gold, I say in common.
Yeah, they do, for that very odd, very strange tab. Anyway, I hate to interrupt this fucking family fucking reunion. But we just killed a shit demon and now a hero, so I guess you could just tag along again.
Can we pick up our bounty?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
we got a lot of
it's-
gold to collect.
It's quite a interesting time you've had. We heard about your song.
That fucking song. I swear to God, I'm never going to listen to music again.
Actually, I
Rub
think
it.
our destiny might be intertwined with that song.
I hope not. For our entire sakes, Gavin, I sorely hope that song never comes back again. And I hope when it does, I hope I'm singing it at a funeral.
We could arrange that.
Yeah, no, I could definitely do that. You could do functions. That'd be quite good. Do you do
Gregor
what about dwarven bar
Tuscan.
mitzvahs? Do you do those? I've got a cousin. He needs
In a
one.
very strange way, Gregor, I think I might have missed you too.
Nah. Right. Let's go because
I'm
I
studying
have
my
no
sister to see if
feelings.
there's anything changed about her, if anybody's added any type of magical anything to her. Does she have any jewelry, different clothes, anything like that?
Yeah.
Roll me an Arcana check.
And does my detect good and evil do anything about desecration on her?
Looks totally normal to me.
Yeah, you. Yeah, no, you don't detect any desecration. On a 15, you sort of look her up and down. You're not sure if Kazna always had a giant glowing black gem set into her chest. But I mean, that's you know, no. She,
Sister, come
Oh, that's right. She doesn't have her armor, right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, but
No.
obviously,
Does she
Yeah.
actually, or are you just being
No,
facetious?
no.
Okay.
I'm just being so, yeah,
Okay.
you look her over. She looks oddly pale, to be completely honest. She looks like she's weaker. She doesn't look particularly well, but I mean,
You look a bit peaky,
she's not
love.
cursed or yeah. Kazna, like you haven't eaten more than a moldy apple in some
Let's
time.
go and get you drunk, sister, and collect our gold.
Please.
This
yes.
is the spirit right
and
here.
baths all
Interesting
around.
question before we
I'm
leave.
still
No
clean, so fuck you
relevance-
guys.
No relevance to anything else, I assure you, but just, on the off chance, how do we all feel about tieflings?
They're slave races, just like the rest of you. No offense.
None taken. Tieflings, fuck 'em,
Good, yes.
Why?
Gavin.
I've had an interesting
Civil fucking
Change it.
partnership, what is it?
change of heart about tieflings.
Very interesting.
Fucking hell.
Glorious.
Tieflings, I have never encountered one before the war. I just know that they were harming the balance of nature in this land.
Are we speaking of fiend touched or true
Just-
tieflings?
Tiefling.
Then they are just another race like any other. in
Interesting.
my
Well,
eyes.
that was a fun trivia question.
Why
Let's go
do
get
you?
drunk.
Why
Gavin,
do you ask about
I
the?
need to speak to you about some armor. As you can see, I don't have any. If I could perhaps speak
Yes,
to you.
if most anything would be doing and the way you like to charge in, we'll need to come up with something.
Are we really just gonna let the whole really weird trivia question about tieflings just go unanswered? I mean, I'm fine if that's the total agreement. I just thought it's kind of odd.
Gregor,
Well,
let's get some drinks in.
We've
shall
got
we?
no answer about the book. We've got crazy questions about tieflings. I think
You know
The
always.
undying heroes are coming through. Part way for the undying heroes. We're going to the bar.
All right, you know how to get a lad in a bar.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone begins to head towards the bar.
Oh, I still don't have hands.
Let me show you this bar, Kazna.
I
It's-
was actually going to use Drow Sign Code to talk to you, and then I was like, that's not going to fucking work.
I say, let me show you this bar. It's dwarven made, and we've never been there, or even ever been to a bar together. So let's go. Come on, guys.
well, baths.
All
First
right,
things first.
Baths.
First things first, Gavin, I must speak with you about that armor.
Well, yes, armor is just as important as a bath.
Yes, agreed.
So people start like moving towards the bar. Like,
Baths
en
are the
masse.
armor of the rich.
Gregor, you know what I want, don't you? Get me, you know.
No, I'll guess. Off the random list,
Clay will
I'll
know,
just...
seeing as you bought 40 gold of it last time.
Well, I'll just completely guess at random.
Yes, guess at random, Gregor. Whatever you tell yourself to help yourself sleep at night. Anyway, Gavin.
I say,
the armor.
wink.
Yes, perhaps there's something we can scavenge and make workable.
Yes.
The Clay has a blacksmith.
Scavenging. Interesting. How about we scavenge near this mine? I'm sure there must be
Well,
something
there's
there.
all those bodies. There's probably something that can be.
Agreed. To the mine.
Go loot some bodies.
So
I get drinks
you
for
guys
everyone.
see-
Gavin once we have earshot of everyone else and just like, where's the tiefling?
At the mine. Surprise.
Understood.
So yeah, Gregor's gonna go get drinks and bring them out to people. Guys, I got the drinks. Why ain't you coming in?
I go to collect the bounty.
Is it like a mile away?
Oh, it's like a mile away.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I
like
thought
a
we were
mile-
out the
yeah,
bar
yeah.
already. Okay.
Yeah, no. People like start carrying you, Gregor. Well, actually, no. People attempt to try and carry you. You're a dwarf in plate, dwarven plate, might I add. So,
Magical
like,
dwarven
people-
It
non-moving
ain't gonna
blade.
happen.
like people put their backs out and stuff, and then people
What are
just
you
give
guys
up and
doing?
sort of crowd
Seeing how
around.
weak Kazna is, I offer to bring her up on Morty so she doesn't have to walk.
I'm not
Kazma is
Oh yeah, we've
walking away.
disappeared around the
Okay.
corner about
Oh.
looking for armor.
But she appreciates it anyway.
You fucking bitch. I say to myself, you self-centered fucking Roth.
They've gone looking for
Your
armor.
sister's back,
Yay.
They've
just
got-
like old times.
Gavin's had a change of heart.
During all of this, how's Aureus coping with all this?
Aureus
People.
actually, well, Aureus would just at this point doesn't like the attention. He's actually going to head into the forest without saying a word, and he's going
It's
to
literally
start
just-
looking. He's gonna start looking for plant life nearby. He's going to
Yeah.
start doing something.
It's Gregor and Zoom go to a bar episode.
I cannot wait for this. episode.
Only chaos.
So yeah, you guys see Aureus sort of break away. Aureus, there is small amounts of vegetation that sort of crest around the edge of a small farmstead. This farmstead is pretty modest. It's one of the ones that has sort of been camped on, but there are sort of bushes and maybe 100 or so trees. Nothing massive, like nothing probably over 20 foot high at the tallest. They sort of cling to the landscape stubbornly.
Okay, yeah, Aureus is going to approach that, knowing that his companions are going back to a bar, and he's going to take his staff, which he's recently received. He's going to begin casting something. Awaken.
Woo. Oh,
Okay.
And it takes some time, but
Yeah.
8 hours. I'm going to attempt to awaken some of the plant life. Seeing the massive threat that was this fiend, he now finds it necessary to start awakening the wildlife to help aid in some of the plights that are occurring.
Okay. So you begin to sort of summon forth consciousness into the largest sort of tree in the center, and you sort of realize that you've got a small audience. They're staying out of the woods, but they can sort of make you out. You can only sort of see them sort of. It's very much easier for you to see them than them to see you, because you're looking out and they're looking in. So you can see them silhouetted by unfamiliar shapes, very unnatural shapes of tents and occasional sort of like ramshackle shanty buildings. But there's a lot of whispering, and they are very interested to see what this hero is doing. Does this bother Arrow? Does this bother Arrow? Arrow, are you bothered by Eurodooring fans?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I can't cast anything else during the casting of this because it takes 8 hours to cast it. It bothers Aureus, but he's more focused on communing with Sylvanus and getting the wildlife to awaken.
You begin to awaken the wildlife. So, Gavin, you and Kazna sort of stand atop the lip, looking down, sort of like a short, tumbling mound. It's maybe about 15 feet down, and there is an open mouth where there is a mine opening, which has private property written on it. There is like you're starting to struggle to tell where the smell is coming from. It's just everywhere. It permeates everything, but it smells pretty foul down there, and you can see that there is sort of fluid pooling, puddles forming, and in the sunlight you can see that it is brown with sort of that iridescent color of red mixing through it. It's not good.
Yeah. I sort of just look at Kazna, lead the way.
Is the darkness that I put up still there? No, that's not good. Cool. Ready yourself, Gavin. I only hope he's still here. I'll start walking down.
I follow.
And you step in, and you see that there is this opening. There is like a couple of tables. There's even what appears to be some paperwork that is to do with sort of the comings and goings at the mine, a ledger of some sort. And there's what looks to be a chest on sort of sat by the side, which is open and doesn't appear to have much in there other than sort of maybe a couple of bottles of half-drunk liquor. And as you sort of head in, you look around, don't see anything
shady
of much, and then
appreciate
something in the corner moves. Something very small.
Scab?
Yes?
It's me. It's Kazna. You can
He's
come
big.
out.
He's really big. Why is he here?
He's a friend.
Do not fear, young one.
He's scary. He's very scary.
Gavin just puts a big smile. And because it's Gavin, he always has snacks in his pack, well wrapped so that they wouldn't get messed up.
Okay.
Eat your shit snacks.
Yeah, no. Gavin, if anyone knows, Gavin knows. Snacks, always handy.
Gavin just looks at him like,
yeah, he brings out
not expecting snacks.
Yeah, some sort of a
I love the
sweet
idea that
bun type thing, something that he had baked probably a couple days ago. It's not terribly fresh, but something that he had made when cooking with Agatha during our travels.
In combat, I love the idea if you kick Gavin hard enough, like food comes out of him like a vending machine. Like if you kick him really hard, he's just
it can happen. You got to kick your way through the giant skillet on his back. But yes, there's a D20 possibility.
There is indeed. So yeah,
on a nat 20, you get a Snickers.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm doing it. I'm gonna send so many things to kill you now. And you see this small sort of mound of rags, and it looks up at you with sort of very one sort of purple and one golden eye out of the darkness, and finally he sort of shimmies forward, seeing food, And to give a better description, he's got quite pale skin. He's sort of pinkish as opposed to like that virulent red that some tieflings are. And he has sort of rows of spikes that run down his jawline, almost like sort of like a fashionable stubble, but they are quite clearly like little horns, almost like barnacles that just run down. His eyes are very noticeable, and he has quite sharp teeth. But other than that, he doesn't look too different. Apart from the fact that you can tell he does have a tail, which is sort of hanging down and trailing behind him. And he reaches a shaky hand up and snatches the snack and then scurries off into the corner to sit and eat, eyeing you warily.
It's all right. Enjoy that for a moment. Eat slow, though. It will make you sick otherwise. Would you like some water? I have some clean water if you'd like some. Are you thirsty?
He nods. Yes.
So I take out a small cup and pour some clean water into it.
Are you a drow as well?
No, I am human. Gavin, pale skin, red hair.
Yeah. You don't seem like a human.
Humans come in all different types. I am a paladin.
A paladin human.
Just a human is fine.
But you said you were a paladin human.
Paladin is what I do. Yes, it is what I do.
Paladin.
It's close enough.
Okay.
I try to do good in the world. Do you understand that?
Why?
Because it makes me happy. It makes me feel good about myself. When I help others.
You're weird. I like you.
There's quite a few people who believe that too.
Well, they're stupid.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I'm sure you probably thought Kazna was scary and weird at first too. I know I did.
What do you mean, did? I'm still scary.
He kind of looks at you and then looks at the boy and he goes, "No, you're not."
Don't pretend to know or think why I do the things I do, Gavin.
Of course not.
Can't
I would
explain it
never presume.
Anyway, the boy.
Now that is going to be interesting. I don't have any illusion magics that could disguise him. Luckily.
Do you have any? I think we could clothe him in to make him look less,
His skin is close enough color. I mean, everyone's dirty enough around here that the tail, we could fashion a way to put it down his leg of
Do
pants.
they need tails?
I might want to hold on to that till he's old enough to decide for himself.
Fair, I suppose.
The barnacles are going to be, the horns are going to be a little trickier, and the eyes. I assume glowing one purple, glowing one gold, not just in color. They glow like internal light.
You mentioned the eyes. Do you mention the eyes to him?
I mean, we're talking. He probably can hear over here.
He ups his face, and his eyes now look entirely normal.
Well,
Like
that's a
useful.
helpful trick.
Can you do that with your horns as well?
No. But hold on, and he literally just headbutts the floor, and shakes his head, and then pulls his head up, and he is now caked in mud, and He looks like a muddy-faced child. Like
That's
that.
a far simpler solution.
Well, that will do.
So just the tail, then, I suppose.
Is he wearing like some sort of ragged pants or something?
Yeah, he's wearing ragged pants and
Are they long,
trench
or
coat.
I mean, are they?
His trench coat would probably fit Aureus. I keep calling it. I use Arrow in real life for comparison for everything.
Yeah. So I mean, so it basically trails to the ground.
Oh yeah.
So it's definitely long enough to hide the tail.
Oh god, yeah. It's
Okay.
also very conspicuously long. It's like a bridle ground length, and doesn't fit him in any way. But
I assume a lot of the refugees, and especially kids, are like that as well. It's dad's old whatever. Can you keep your tail hidden if we go in public?
yes.
Right. So all we need to do now is get our stories straight. I mean, after all, we did go to get armor, and we've come back with a muddied child.
Well,
There was-
you said
there
you
was
were in
armor
a.
on the bodies.
I was going to say, we around here with that crowd up there, having a young fan trail us around is not out of the question, and I'm sure there's plenty of orphans to go around.
That could work.
Do you mind if we say that we found you, Scab,
No.
and
Okay.
that you were down here looking for looking for things to sell after all the commotion?
Okay.
Do you think you can remember that? Just
I'm
that you were
looking for
trying to
stuff to
find
sell.
things to sell,
Okay.
and you were hungry. They'll understand that anyone who's hungry, I can't say no to, pretty much.
Okay.
And be wary when we do go into public. The general public, they're easy enough to fool, but, well, Gavin and I keep certain company.
I would suggest, Kazna, we can feel it out, but perhaps we could get Erho on our side. I know many
Now
druids.
everyone's
Yes.
doing it.
It's contagious.
I did, yeah, Aureus, sorry. Get Aureus
I'm gonna do
on
just
our
to fuck with
side.
him.
And he has many illusion magics, as most druids do, might be able to help us a little bit.
If I
Party of disguise.
side with Aureus before my sister, you
I
don't
guess-
want to know the family drama that would occur.
Well, we will. We'll take it. We'll play it by ear.
I do believe there's a drink waiting for us. I don't want
could
Gregor to
s-
drink mine before the time comes.
Are you injured, Scab?
I don't know. And he
Well.
sort of like sort of opens up his shirt, and he's horrifically scarred. He has lash marks across his chest. All of them look old. But you notice that his hands, one of his hands doesn't actually seem to move properly. And you realize that it looks like his wrist has been dislocated at some point and hasn't been relocated. And it barely seems to be able to flex sort of his fingers. He has a whole host of other problems, but he doesn't appear to be bleeding, and he doesn't appear to be getting all of this crud in his wounds or anything like that. Nothing open.
So, for Scab, do you mind if I just make sure you don't have anything that could make you sick later? I'll just need to touch your hand, if you don't mind.
He holds up his hand.
So first I'll do detect poison and disease, seeing as he's just been in a shit bath with open wounds.
Yeah, he has a whole host of diseases. Simple stuff like stuff
Okay.
that everyone has.
So-
We've all got them, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
We've all
living
had
is
them.
not clean. Living is not clean. There is no clean food. There's very little
Yep.
clean water. He's been
There's
on
no
the move
clean
a lot.
film. I mean,
So I'm going to burn my last level 3 that I have right now and do a lesser restoration on him, hopefully to help out any of that and possibly this wrist as well.
You hold on to his hand, and there is a sudden pop, and his eyes well up. His eyes go back to the purple and gold, and
I'm sorry.
he
Sorry.
squeals, but like that really high-pitched squeal,
Yeah.
and collapses sort of onto one knee. But you feel that his hand is now actually gripping you.
I'm sorry.
And,
I didn't mean to hurt you, but I figured you might want to have your hand back.
this is the point where you realize that he's almost hanging off you. And you note that it looks like he's actually just blacked out.
Okay. Just to make, I mean, do I need to cast it like a cure wounds on him because he's blacked out? I mean, this isn't a 0 hit points blacked out, is it? This is just.
This is a sudden having your wrist relocated and sort of repaired after.
Yeah.
School, you know about dislocated.
I know
stuff.
exactly about dislocated things. Yes, it is not comfortable.
No.
So yeah, no. So Gavin at that point, I mean, picks him up, and I assume he's fairly light for Gavin.
He weighs nothing. Yeah.
Yep. And I start carrying. Well,
Am I
at least
injured at all?
Oh yeah, that's actually yes. How are you?
I hadn't thought about that. How am I doing?
You haven't actually been injured. However,
by the way, how is my
do-
body? You're missing
however they
all of
suggest
your
it
limbs.
wasn't, Indeed. I forget to mention that. And the giant black stone in your chest. And the random pounding abyssal in your head.
What a shame. Oh no.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So- Yeah, I pick him up, and as I do a quick check over of Skaznan, just medicine check, but everything seems to be okay. And I look at her and go, I do apologize for presuming your motivations. I'm sure if we need to, we can kill him in the morning. I sort of give her a smile.
I'm sure we could. And she'll turn and just start picking up random bits of armor really angrily and sort them out of mine.
And I guess we're heading we'll head to the pub.
Wrap. Cool. So Zune, how are you enjoying reveling in the masses who are all, they're not cheering your name, but they're cheering the name that you put in their mouth, the name of I can't remember what you originally said, but it's become the Undying Heroes.
I can't remember what I said either. Something about the unkillable heroes or undead heroes or something like that.
Well, Undying.
I'm pretty.
Yeah. The heroes of undeath is what you said.
Yeah, that was it.
You were like the heroic heroes of undeath, and I'm like, that's too
Something.
fucking long.
That's too
long.
long. She's not really good with naming things. I'm reveling in it and also trying to use the opportunity to get more clothes, gold, more comfortable lodgings, all the things that Zune requires to be happy. Also, No, we haven't had any downtime then.
No, not really. You guys don't do downtime very well.
No. I will just be waiting at the bar for them, and I'm going to be practicing my pedomancy, trying to teach people the importance of learning to cast with things that aren't your hands and how to overcome adversity, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So
worried about that.
you tell this story of sort of how Zune overcame the odds to regain her strength and become a powerful sorcerer again.
Wizard.
and-
Sorcerers are...
offering.
Blech.
Oh,
Mage
good lord.
again, as-
Urban lady.
Wizard.
Urban lady donates £30. Let me see. I get a wild magic surge. I saw Tall School got a wild magic surge. I feel like everyone may be
boy.
getting a wild magic
Oh,
surge.
boy.
Really checking.
Oh boy.
Must you just doing a bit less dangerous than pedomancy? Wild magic surge has been the least of our worries.
So we all do.
Yes, yeah. ELP gets a wild magic surge. Tall School gets a wild magic surge. Everyone gets a wild magic surge. Yes, even the DM.
I mean, it went so well for
Even
me
the
last time.
DM.
Even.
Yeah, that's fine.
God damn it, Irvin. Get some exclamation point, Irvin, please.
Oh, that's low. Yes.
That's not always good.
Oh, high numbers are never good.
I've just come to the realization there are no good numbers. There are just none.
I'm betting
That's true, too.
908 is going to be like the next tiefling boy you adopt bursts into flames.
Let's see. So, do you want me to go through these?
Yeah, if you,
All right.
if any are secret, just message me in the Zoom chat.
Okay. In that case, I'll go find 908 first of all, Louise. Which reads... Do you want me to go through these now, or just want you to ping it?
Yeah,
ping?
no, can do.
Okay.
Can do.
Caster finds a pouch full of 1d100's totally identical teeth. That's fucking creepy.
While you were scavenging,
Yeah, by the way.
Just,
You thought it was gold.
And some teeth.
Oh my god,
Find
tool score.
121 teeth. Yeah.
Keep those. They could be spell components.
Tool scores one is great. Someone nearby must save versus death or grow terrifyingly beautiful.
Kazna!
I guess it's it's Casno the boy.
They gotta save versus.
Scav.
You gotta save versus death though. You gotta make a death save.
I gotta make a death save.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's up to Josh to decide who rolls that, but
Okay, it's gonna be random boy.
random boy.
Just kills him. So is this he dies or becomes incredibly beautiful?
I think it's if he saves, he
I think-
doesn't become
oh,
beautiful.
Oh, okay. In which case,
Or the other way around, I
yeah,
don't
he fails. Yeah, and you we'll get to that in a moment.
What the fuck is happening?
We'll address that in a moment.
He's like 8 years old.
Oh
What's
god,
going
he's
on?
beautiful.
I don't think it's dead, is it?
Pageant.
No idea. Up to you. I mean,
we'll see.
Oh my god, we're gonna end him in beauty pageants, Gavin.
Josh, your wild magic surge. Caster spends 1d4 rounds trying to cast the same spell. Alright.
Okay,
Alright.
I know what that'll be. Yeah.
Okay. Gregor, 3, 9, 10. He rolled, when I tell a falsehood, I confess it to everybody nearby. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is so
That's
bad.
Like perfect though for Gregor.
I know,
That
yeah.
is very good for Gregor.
I
3993.
don't- for that,
I'm full of shit, you know.
No, I want
I don't know
it
what
to
that
just.
accent was.
You don't have to. I'm gonna say you don't have to tell everyone you're lying. I just want you to basically ham the lie up and tell. Like, if you tell one person a lie, you must tell the lie to everyone in the room.
Good.
Loud.
Good. I like that. Aureus rolled, while indoors, Caster feels as if he's on a ship's deck. Which it could be interpreted many ways. Why he feels
kind of
that.
basically like get seasick.
You get seasick, I guess.
Seasick's inside.
You get claustrophobic and sort
nice.
of like start to sway and feel uncomfortable inside.
I mean, that's
sure.
just like who he is anyway.
Oh my god.
That's okay. Business
Wait.
as usual. Then I don't like. being funny.
3152 for Zune. I have to hide. I'm gonna ping to Josh. It's so good. Don't spoil it in chat, please. This one's gonna
No, fuck. Caster grows back their hands.
Yay!
be. Oh my god.
Justin's feet become wood. It's gonna be saying.
Okay, so
Oh my God, okay.
I'm gonna get some drinks
Okay.
in, everybody. Do Gavin and Kazna arrive back at the bar at some point?
Yeah, they will arrive back in a moment. But
Okay.
first, Gregor, you are still carrying the head.
The head of the devourer, yeah.
which you took off. So you march into the bar with a huge crowd, sort of throw the doors open, sort of on Ramsey, riding in, and there is a few people in the bar. Clay is behind the bar and just looks up, just what in the fuck is that smell?
That, my friend, is a devourer I fucking killed. And that's the reason why everyone here's gonna get a drink on the house. And I throw it towards him.
It lands it with a squelch, and you actually hear something clang as it hits the floor, and everyone in the room sort of looks. Some people in the are immediately going towards the bar to order drinks. You see a member of bar staff, a short lady with violently sort of vicious red hair, come out and begin to take orders. But Clay sort of steps round the bar, walks over to this huge head and just prods it with a greatsword. And you hear the sound of metal hitting metal.
Don't worry about
I
that.
smile watching this from the other side. You didn't think we could do it, did you?
Yeah, you big old fuck. That wasn't my best. All right, that wasn't my best. Sorry, I'm just riding high on all this adrenaline, man.
I just want everyone in the bar that when Ramsey comes in, like when Norm used to go into Cheers, that everyone goes, Ramses! Ramses!
Oh, man. Yeah, what's wrong with that? You know, he's just got a head, no big deal, you know, this big old pile of shit. We got through it, Kazner's back, and, you know, I don't care about it. I don't care about it! I scream to the crowd. Or anyone, I don't care about anyone. I don't care about anyone or anything, I scream to the whole bar.
This is the best thing.
Why am I doing? Why do I keep
Is Kazner
shouting?
here in time for this?
Why do I keep shouting? I don't have feelings. I just scream it.
This is the best thing ever. So yeah, you find yourself sort of standing there as Clay begins to he draws a meat cleaver, like this huge butcher's knife, from his back and begins to cut this thing's head open, and reaches inside and like it looks like he's actually having to suppress a gag as he rips out something from this thing's skull. It looks like a smaller skull at first, but there's something wrong with it. It's sort of got, you're not really sure, and he twists and pries this skull free from something that is sitting on it, and it falls to the floor and sort of comes clanging to.
Hey, you skull fucking my skull! What the? What are you doing there?
There is a helmet.
What are you doing, my
much
fucking
too
helmet?
small- There is a helmet much too small to fit on the Devourer. It's actually come from something that was inside the Devourer.
Why does that head have a head inside of it? That's not normal. Oi, Zune, come take a look at this, you fucking pedo.
Hmm?
I said you're a pedo. You do your pedomancy.
I stand up and I come over. What am I looking at? I would say goodbye to my
You're
adoring
looking
family.
at my fucking helmet, which is inside my fucking head, which has just been cut out by his fucking sword. It's not normal.
There is half, like the Devourer's head's been opened like a peach, like it's been peeled back. And there is a smaller skull that was sat inside its head, which has a helmet on, which has just been pre-fried.
Zune, sweetheart, is this normal in the pedo community?
Take the skull out and hold it before me so I might closer inspect it.
He sort of rips the skull
I'd
free.
do it myself, but not exactly the most handy person at the moment.
Ah,
People fucking love it. People go wild for the joke.
everyone's like, this guy.
She's so brave overcoming it.
That's so fun.
And,
I know. I'm just the greatest.
Trust me, it gets old.
And he sort of reaches in and like pulls it free like a bowling ball, like a pair of fingers through the eye sockets, and pulls it out. And there is a helm in front of you. It almost it's sort of.
Is the skull human? Like, it's a child skull, it looks like. It's a human child skull? Okay, no?
No, it's
Well, that was a pedo
about
bit. You got
adult
confused.
size. You've got to remember this Devourer was like 18
Right.
foot tall. Something
Right.
insane. So it's a human. And you remember that this thing straight up consumed and like one of the other party and spat him out.
Oh
like a
yeah, that
rat.
guy.
He sort of pulls the skull free and just drops it to the floor, and fluid just pours out of it, and he places the helm down on the bar.
Moist.
It's pretty battered and broken in places. It has scars and sort of chips out of it.
I
but
kind
it
of
has a
wipe
sort
at it with my
triangle.
arm. Do I see any symbols that I recognize?
This you do not. You see that there appears to be a mounting for a gem set in sort of the center, and it has a lattice of gold that seemed to support it in sort of a fancy pattern, almost like a triangle that would hold it up. Almost like, how a tiara sort of has like the prongs, the legs, the arms come up and hold the gem. Well, like that.
Nice
on top
fucking
of that,
hat.
it's almost samurai style, to be honest. Like it kind of comes down the
Can
back.
I put it on my head?
Yeah, you can try.
I
you sort of,
try.
pick it up and
Does it look good on it?
Clay just like takes it and helps you and is just like, are you sure you want this on your head?
There's a possibility that it has magical properties that I'll only be able to deduce from wearing it, so yes, please put it on my head.
You it slides over your head. Roll me an Arcana check.
Don't know how to feel about this, to be honest. A little bit, conflicted.
That'll do.
I'll do
On a
donkey.
24, this is enchanted. You are not sure what it is. You know it isn't functioning properly, but it still seems to work. You are not attuned to it. You will need to attune to it to get it to work.
Does this make you a fucking queen or something?
Technically, I'm the matron mother of my dead house, so I am a queen, yes.
Don't know what that means. Okay. Your head lapidos.
You will know, however, that
Chief Pedo.
specifically.
Cheeto. Sorry.
Fuck, you're gonna kill this dwarf.
No, it's gone. Never mind. Fuck it. Doesn't matter.
The moment's gone.
Yeah. Whatever it is, the only thing you can tell, other than the fact that it is not working properly, is that it is a conjuration spell of some sort that is on top of this helmet. This sort of magic, and it is very faint and dull.
Does it happen to match the gem in the size of the chest of Gavin by any chance, or is it much smaller?
It's tiny. It's probably sort of the size of a brooch, maybe smaller even still.
Wait, what gem in Gavin?
Don't you have a gem in your chest?
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
he had a wound in his chest.
Feathers, right.
Continually being trolled by gems.
I kind of...
His chest gem just keeps.
One of these days there will be a chest gem.
Guys,
We'll
why
never believe it.
didn't you tell me about this chest gem I have? Well, I say we don't address it too much or worry about it, because that's what we're doing these days. We don't worry about stuff that happens to each other.
I need to inspect this.
I'm not at all upset that we didn't address or have any kind of reunion. I'm not upset. I scream. Not feeling good about it. I'm feeling really good about it.
As that happens,
not repressed.
everyone but Aureus sort of returns for a sort of reunion. Aureus, are you staying? I presume you are going to unbrokenly cast this spell.
Yeah, Aureus is very concerned with seeing the fiend and battling the fiend, how strong it was, so he needs to definitely do this.
He needs an end. I understand that.
He needs to awaken nature and use his staff.
I get that. So yeah, you guys sort of rejoin each other in the bar. To get Gregor loudly proclaiming that he's not upset. He's fine. People are just sort of not really sure how to placate Gregor in any way. They're just like agreeing with him, but not.
Yeah.
Trying to.
They're like he's like drunk crying nearly. Like he's getting really emotional.
Kazna will just walk straight over with like the biggest jug of the strongest ale she could find, and just press it into his palm like, "You want a reunion? Here it is."
Oh, aye. I was just hanging out. I was just hanging out here, Oh, listen, she's got a new helmet. It's
I'm
magic.
trying to attune to it.
It suits you, sister.
Where have you guys been?
Oh no! Wait a second.
Desperately trying to.
How was the new armor? I don't see any new armor on you.
It's here. Just pulls up like whatever
It's
specs
just
of
like
armor.
you've got like three different bits from sort of like light armor that's just fucking terrible.
That looks
We
awful.
couldn't find much.
Hmm.
Clay, how are you doing?
Upon seeing the helmet, I am gonna do a detect good and evil on it. Oh, wait a second. I've got the wrong spell. I might not. Can I do a detect good and evil? Yes, I can. I'm running out of spells because I ain't slept.
I
Just to
watch
see.
him as he's doing this with narrow eyes, like, try and take away one more toy, motherfucker.
I'm just seeing if it's cursed.
If it was cursed, I'd be cursed by now.
You haven't attuned yet, dear.
Just,
Yes,
why
it
do
is
you
not-
always try to be so good?
Why can't we be a
Can't you
normal
just have a little
family?
fun every
Why
now
do
and
you
then?
always be so reckless?
Because
You
I
know-
only have a few hundred years left. I want to live them with some fervor.
Mate, she's
She's right,
literally
you know.
burned off her hands. I think she's fucked as it is.
She
We
burnt
can't
off
stop her.
own hands, says someone in the crowd. Like,
I melted off my own hands to save a poor orphan who is lying in the way of lava.
Yes, she did that. She did that.
I love this. This is my favorite thing in the world.
I look at Gregor like, fuck, whatever.
I don't know why I keep
best.
doing it. I just can't stop.
So just give him more ale, just like
I think something's affecting me. I don't know what though.
So, yeah,
It's not like I have
there's sort of
feelings.
like much jubilation and sort of like you bring in various pieces of the devourer just to confirm the kill. The head, the torso, that sort of.
I go
bit.
through the torso looking for the gem that belongs to this, if it is brought in.
Cool. Yeah, you don't find. There's just like small pieces. Everything else has
Yeah.
been burnt away. You've got enough for a trophy and make sure this thing will never sort of reform. But in one of the hands, sort of one of the arms, you've got a forearm, just like one hand, and as you place it down on the floor, and don't say Irving Layden doesn't ever give you shit, because this thing comes with rewards for
like
killing.
hands.
It does not come with a literal fucking hand, set of hands.
Super hands.
You guys sort of like as you're cutting, sort of you see them start to take this thing apart. Now having seen it, no longer wanting it in one piece, and as you do, you see that there appears to be something within the arm, and it appears to be a sword. And this is, I mean, if you think it through, they would sort of appear in this creature to be spat out, which means they're sort of almost wearing it like a suit that is turning you into a white. Yes.
What?
Well, so this is where I'm trying not to be meta.
Mm.
So I guess can I do a check to see whether Gavin understands how devourers change their prey?
Yeah. Give me a nature check or religion.
It's been crappy for both. 8. Never mind.
Yeah. You do not, but you do find in the arm of this creature what appears to be a sword. It is a pardon me. It is a short sword, and this short sword is viciously sort of like pronged at the edge, wrapped around the sort of the hilt appears to be black leather, and it goes right up to what looks like a pair of sharp fangs that are holding just what looks to be a pommel stone. Nothing fancy at all. It's just a blackened pommel stone. But there appears to be a single drop of red in there. And yeah, it's a very fine-looking sword stashed away.
I saw it there. Also, it looks like there's a viewer decision over in that corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I roll an Arcana on the sword from looking at it from a distance while I'm?
Can I roll an Arcana on the viewer decision?
You can roll an Arcana on the viewer decision. Fail, you may bleed from your nose. Succeed. It may blow your fucking mind. Yeah, on an 18, it definitely seems to hold some sort of magical property. You're not sure what. You would need to sort of examine it up close. And then there is the sound of metal that is much more interesting to everyone as something loud and numerous clunks down on the bar.
Kunshing.
And yes.
Money,
you
money,
see a
money,
chest.
money,
Money!
Money.
money.
You see a chest clink down on the bar, and Clay standing there holding his greatsword. Sees Kazna, shoots her a warm smile.
I glare
and
at
then
him.
He looks around at everyone in the bar, and everyone in the bar almost licks their lips looking at Clay.
I actually
And,
lick my lips.
So
Very
you're
slowly.
not alone, Gregor. So, yeah, there's a lot of tension suddenly as there is a huge chest on the bar with probably a lot of fucking gold in it. You know, this chest has about 8 locks on it, and is reinforced, like has had bands melded round it. So, I believe we are your payments.
Subscribing, buddy. I appreciate it. Holy shit.
While this is going on, while everyone's attention's on the bar, Gavin squirrels in Scab, and we go upstairs to the rooms.
Okay.
I figure while there's a
Gavin-
great distraction.
Gavin don't want to be paid. We will have that
I'll
on
take
record.
his share.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll share his share.
Yeah.
Sister, you weren't even here. You didn't even
I
help. None
was
of this
there
is
in
for you.
spirit.
None of this is for you. We're gonna have a long talk later.
Wait, we've got 2 viewer decisions
We got
now?
2 viewer decisions to bring in, yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Wait, hold on.
boy.
We can table top 2.
Okay.
Have we even started it yet?
No, we gotta set
what's
the
the
viewer
question?
decision.
Okay. Right.
Come on, you know you want to do it. You know you want to do it, Josh.
Do it, Josh. Just do it. Do it.
Okay. Kazna is going to remember something. Kazna is going to remember a thing, because thanks to Wild Magic Surge, she lost some memory and therefore couldn't actually know something. So, guys, Kazna was kidnapped, and they didn't overpower her. They used something else. What did they use? Was it poison? Was it magic? Was it a con? How did they get a drunken Kazna safely to submit? And who else went missing with her?
Which question would you prefer? Because having double questions just causes,
Okay.
I have noticed, has caused fucking chaos with people.
Okay, in which case, yeah. Tell me how it was that Kazna was subdued, and the second one will be how another person was subdued. There we are.
Alright, underneath that line there in chat, my friends. How was Kazna subdued?
Be kind to me, my friends.
So,
So these guys are like slunk off upstairs whilst we're getting our gold, right?
yeah,
Yes.
and
Because I want to try to
this-
sneak. I want to get Scab out of harm's way.
Do we put it in platinum or is it all in gold? That's a lot of gold to carry.
I love it. This is not all in a single currency. This is in.
I'm
this
assuming
is
gems,
coming
all
in
kinds of stuff.
donation. Yeah,
Okay.
there's all manner of shit here. This is such loot chest because this is made up of everyone's donations. Anyone who's had anyone go missing, who cares about who wants to make the town a better place, has contributed to draw in adventurers to deal with this problem. It is an ungodly amount, and there are a lot of people in the bar who are sort of. Clay has more, like, you will notice that Clay actually has brought in a couple of people who are standing there around the bar looking like they're on crowd control. And he sort of leans on the chest and says, "So, how are we doing this?"
Well, we'll
Anyone-
likely use some of that to buy a wagon and then put it on the back of Rickon and Morty.
Is it?
Right,
Is it-
Gavin?
Yeah, where's Gavin and Kazna? They keep going off together. What's
Kazna's
going on
still
there?
there.
Oh, Kazna's there.
I'm here.
Oh, Gavin,
No, I
where's
just slunk
Gavin
off
gone?
the scab.
It's okay. I know you're insecure, Gregor. It's okay.
I am not insecure. I am not insecure. I do not have abandonment issues. Okay.
I'd like to use a small portion of my share to erect a shrine of the Undying Heroes defeating the Devourer.
That sounds good, actually.
People nod and they're just like, yeah, we need a shrine for them. There's still a lot of people eyeing up the gold. They appear to be the people that are armed and probably the mercenaries of this group. But anyone
I
who's-
look at them and I say, we defeated a Devourer. I, on my own, could turn you into undead minions and have you serve me for the rest of time. Is that what you want? Stay the fuck away from my gold. It is not for you.
Why don't they serve us? Hey, we need men. I've lost all my fucking prisoners. You lot, you like a fight? I got gold.
couple of them look interesting.
Well, that just got interesting.
A couple of people step forward. You watch as sort of like literally a guy sort of steps forward, sort of reaches out as if looking for gold, and is promptly slapped in the face by the flat of a greatsword from Clay. He's just like, if you want to deal with him, you deal with him away from gold. They look to Gregor and just a couple of them.
We can talk with my business associate, Mr. Gordon. And
Oh my fucking god.
and Gordon, like, you know, puts his hooves together as if like, like...
I love Gordon.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start Gregor's new recruits. Gregor's
Okay.
latest prisoners, who aren't prisoners at all, but he will definitely be signing them into his warlock contract.
Oh, yeah.
So if you just sign here with your souls, lads, that'll be fine, and I'll get you the gold. What's your soul worth anyway, eh? Tell me, lad, do you fear death? And that's how I become new Davy Jones, basically.
Yeah, he
Well, that's good. If they die, I'll have food.
Right, win-win. Don't worry about that, lads. Don't read too much into that. What she just said there. Don't read into it. She's not gonna eat them.
So, your gold is transported up to Gordon's room, as it's the only room that sort of he's absolutely sure belongs to you guys, because he's absolutely certain that he's making sure you pay for the damages in the room.
Yeah,
He
the
brings it
bed
up-
being eaten.
And the room is relatively
Expenses.
trashed. And he sort of slams it down in the center of the room, and is just like, there is another chest downstairs. This is a lot of gold. You sure you'll need all of it? I can keep some here if you want.
No, I think my retainer, Mr. Gordon here, will look after it.
It's not a bad idea to leave some gold somewhere behind, just in case we end up needing to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really
Gold
need
just
gold.
sits on it.
I just need it to buy people, which, when I say it like that, sounds a lot like something that you'd say. But I mean it in a better way, you know? Yeah, just plonk some of it here, then plonk the rest of it in safekeeping. And of course, if you ever steal a penny of my gold, I know that this is a stereotype, but I do know exactly how much gold it is. I'm very, very racially bound to gold. And I will be lodging a formal complaint to a great deal of boards if you do take any of my
Gregor,
gold.
just shut up and drink more behind the bar.
Hey, that's what they all say.
If you steal any of our gold, I'll tell your wife that you slept with Kazna.
Pardon, sister?
Shut up.
If you still
Well,
have
yes,
gold, I'll
you
tell
see,
your
we
wife you
can-
slept with Gordon, mate.
I say to you in Dark Elven, this one wants to have sex with you. I would use that to your advantage.
Kazna, you have a flashback of being flirted with, but also drinking an unholy amount, and vaguely remember that you beheaded somebody in a bar fight.
Gregor also has the same flashback, like at the same time. They're like a joint thought clouds, like, hey, oh,
Smiles. It's like, yes.
that was
It was
so
Good
good
times.
times.
messy. Anyway, yeah, no, don't steal their money. I tell him it's a fucking threesome that you just got to fucking pegging each other with your fucking gourd and cock and you know the
not
fucking.
going to steal your gold because you have done honest work and I will pay you honest gold.
Hey, but just tell her of the mother of all rim jobs that Gordon gave you, okay? So just keep that in
He
mind.
punches Gregor in the face.
Gregor,
Shut up.
Gregor rims him.
I'm starting to like you.
See.
More wine
you're
with
not.
a straw, please.
All right, that's a guy I can do business with. A man who can punch my
anyone who
goal.
punches you in the face.
Man who
Tell
can.
you shake, Endorphin.
Yeah.
I continue trying to like feel the helm attuned to it, like obey me, obey me.
And you guys are gonna have some revelry, I presume.
Yeah, so where's Gavin gone? I mean, he didn't for... I feel like he's mysteriously absent and has been quite a lot recently.
So is Aureus.
That's true, where's Aureus gone? They're both off in the woods fucking each other, maybe. Oh, he did say that he had a change of heart's asset. Oh, I can just imagine it now. Gavin's fucking balls deep in him right now. Oh, Mr. Gavin, I love your
Aureus to
fucking
have
word.
sex with a woman, and you think he's going to have sex
Wait,
with a man?
if he-
Well, I don't
Wait,
see
if
what
he-
else it could possibly be.
I think that's the only logical conclusion. He didn't have
Thanks,
sex with a
Cass.
woman. That means that he's gay.
I'm helping.
That means that he likes
I'm pretty
guys.
sure
Yes,
that
you're
if
helping.
Aureus was going to sleep with anything, it would be a fucking tree.
Gavin is pretty
And
built.
I mean that quite literally. He would fuck the tree.
No, I can.
He wants to be closer with nature.
Oh, I've just
I would
remembered.
just say now, maybe if he is into trees, you should be careful. Maybe he's also into stumps.
Oh,
you guys
I give him a wink.
He's talking. He's talking
man.
about you.
Oh, Claire.
He's talking about you fisting him. Oh, I can see that now.
You're not so.
Oh wait, no, it'd be like
I
a human
Just
fucking
remembered
centipede.
He went to sort out the armor.
And what about
I think that's a
Aureus?
fucking
Has he-
euphemism, love.
Has he
Sorting out
finally
the
run
armor.
from us?
Aureus is probably, as you said, fucking the trees.
No, it's a fucking sorting out the armor is a fucking euphemism, love. What he's doing is he's fucking fisting them with a fucking branch right now.
I'm going to
also
go out
possible.
and look for Aureus.
Okay. Roll me a survival check.
Oh boy, I have so much of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Woo, that
Oh,
three.
yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, you step out, you have no idea
I'm gonna leave
where
him to
to
it.
look. Like, you don't know how to track somebody.
Gregor,
But
Gregor doesn't shame.
Have you seen one of the heroes of Undying Aureus?
someone just stops immediately and is like, which one?
Hero of Undying
The one
Orioles.
who liked the forest and didn't want to be touched.
The one in the woods.
Yes,
The
can
man
you
in
take
the
me?
woods.
Yes, can you take me to him?
We're holding a vigil. Come with us. And
Lighting candles out there.
absolutely lighting
They've got like 5,000 candles.
I
There's
have to
the
see
candles
this
in
with
the
my own
wind.
eyes, so
I-
I quietly and respectfully as possible walk up to this site.
Wait, are we watching Aureus bumfuck, Gavin? I am so
Wait, you all
in.
go- suddenly everyone's going.
I just alert the
Even
whole
better.
bar.
What better to come witness communing with nature?
I alert the
than
whole
Gregor.
bar. Kazna, we've
Okay,
got to see
you know what?
this.
You guys have spent a lot of time fucking around. Okay, you guys have spent loads of time counting gold and drinking and merriment. You finally realize Aureus is missed. You wander out to find Aureus. Aureus, there is a fucking vigil now. It's getting dark. They have lit candles. They are humming.
I would like to think at this point as
Because I'm sure that helps. It's part of the ritual.
They were all
right?
like, "Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya."
I do my absolute best not to burst out laughing as I walk up, but I just have a shit-eating grin on my face.
I would like
Do
to.
not send more shit for me to eat. That is not an invitation.
I mean, I guess Aureus, if he's got this audience, as long as they're not too close to him and really interfering with his.
Oh no, I'm sure they have a respectful distance around you.
He would have been preaching Sylvanus, and telling the crowd that
Is he converting people?
He's actually-
Oh, it's even better.
Testify.
if I would suppose that's what Orius would be doing if he has this crowd. He would be telling people about maintaining balance and anything that, and the reason why he's out here is the creature was obviously desecrating their crops and their lands and ending lives without, it was basically encroaching on their freedom and their balance. And
two things. One, are you saying this in Common or Elvish?
I would be saying this in the common language.
Okay, cool.
I would also say some things in Sylvan to
to add
Heighten
emphasis.
the drama.
to add emphasis and
I was going to say
dramaticism.
you don't actually have a translator for Sylvan, unfortunately. No one here.
Yeah,
But,
sure.
Yeah, so
There's
you
no
say
word
them
for
and
this.
It's straight on mysticism. Your words, but people repeat the words in Sylvan back.
Holy
And
shit.
roll me a performance check at advantage.
This is the most
They
beautiful
love
thing
you.
I have ever seen. Somebody please hold me.
Oh, there's a
on
19.
a 19. Oh, that was so close to a nat 20. These people are lapping this up. They are absolutely 100%. You were drawing a bigger and bigger crowd, and amongst that crowd, you guys see you sort of, as you sort of cast your glances back, you will see that there is now sort of a parting, and sort of there's now three crowds essentially, because they've split in the middle to the left and the right, and in the center is a small congregation that you recognize. He is about 50 to 60 feet in this copse of trees. It's not a massive amount of woodland, and he is slightly obscured. You see him walking through, though, and as you sort of finish, what is the final thing you say? What is your final sort of message?
I have never been so hard.
I think this is cool.
I mean, as I'm finishing the ritual using the Staff of the Woodlands, I suppose I would say, now behold, by following Sylvanus, you can request the aid of nature. And then I say something in Sylvan. I don't know what Orius would say. He'd probably repeat the words in Sylvan.
And as you do so, there is a sudden moment of silence as everyone sort of leans in, and then everyone hears a crunching sound. And you watch as sort of the earth around this large tree in the center begins to ripple and fall inwards, almost as if it's caving in, as if like a sinkhole is opening. And there's a lot of tension, and people sort of grab people near them, and there's gasps and silence, and a few people at the back begin to move away. And finally, you can't do that. You have no hands, remember. So there's a gasp, and then at the back, sort of behind Orius, there is a sudden almighty groaning as wood groans, twists, and moves in an unfamiliar way, and this tree begins to pull itself from the ground, and you watch as these huge gnarled roots twist into appendages, and they sort of all link together in these two huge appendages and suddenly dig into the ground at the end, and it begins to pull itself up. You watch as sort of lower branches bind together, and the wood moves in an unnatural fashion, and it lifts itself up, and people just stare in complete awe as a 30-foot tree pulls itself up to stand above everyone. The top branches pushing out of sort of this copse of trees, and behind you there is a massive creature, and a face forms in the bark, and it looks down, confused but silent, and stares at Orius.
Orius regards the ant. Hail, friend. I've awoken you for many reasons. You will find out shortly. I would regard it in Sylvan. I under awaken. I'll put it in the chat for you. Well, I already did, but I can have it speak one language while it's charmed under me, and that would be Sylvan. I think it has an intelligence of 10 too, so it should be able to understand.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it would be Sylvan, and I would address it in Sylvan, and inform it. The land around us has been greatly rummaged and damaged. I require more aid than what I was able to conjure. I've come across this staff which has enabled me to awaken you. For the next 30 days, you will be in my service.
It sways again, almost seeming to nod, and stretches its branches outward, as if stretching from a long slumber, and you hear the groan as all the trees in the area seem to actually move slightly aback, and there is just suddenly this huge sort of gaping clearing where it unwinds and sort of feels the air and breathes, and in a booming voice in Sylvan, which falls on deaf ears for almost everyone but yourself, it just speaks. It is good to be alive, but so much has died. Where do we begin, brother?
Pick me up and lift me into your branches. We are to travel back to town. I have companions that have been giving me aid.
So romantic.
Aren't they there?
Yeah, you are there.
We're like sniggling in the corner.
Part of like its leg unwraps, like a single root comes down and sort of forms like a platform for you to step onto, and it raises you up to a place sort of almost by its shoulder, and just sets you down on a huge and sturdy, twisted, gnarled branch. Where to?
Aureus would know the direction of the town, right? Or
You can see it.
I can see. Yeah, okay, I would.
You can see over treetops at this point.
What are you called? What are you called, friend? I will allow you to name yourself. I regard the treant and Sylvan.
It is going
It's
to.
a beautiful baby
Mainly
tree.
because I don't know what you name a tree.
How do name
Chad.
tree?
Call me Chad.
Oh god. Cave.
Trevis.
Trevis. Trevis and Butthead. That would be the best duo. Yeah, no, it says I will ponder that.
Barkley, Birch. That's pretty good.
Very well. We have much to repair in these damaged lands. To town, and I point in the direction I wish for him to take me.
Yeah, and he begins to move, and as he moves forward, you watch as sort of like the trees actually part, and he doesn't break a single branch off another. They just move as if the wind itself is moving with him and pushing them out of the way, and everyone begins to back the fuck up as there is a treant coming straight for you guys.
And Zune just thinks, how the fuck am I supposed to outplay that, you douche? We just took down a devourer, and now you summon a tree? Now I just look like a not cool person.
So this is what Aureus gets up to in
Does
his
Aureus
spare
see
time.
soon? Does Aureus notice soon
Yeah,
here?
you.
I would
you-
be standing
you
off
see
to the
them.
side, away from the common folk, with
Yeah,
Gregor, I guess, and I just kind of like,
Oh,
Gregor,
you're
Kazna.
probably here, Gregor.
Cassie's still at the bar. She's like, fuck the trees. I don't care.
I just wanted to make sure that he hadn't run off, because
Gregor is like
if
laughing
he had,
and
I was gonna
crying.
take his share of the gold, but I guess he is not running away.
You think they're gonna fuck?
Cassie just didn't want to see a man fuck a tree, and she
Wait,
was like,
yeah.
"Oh wait."
No, Gregor really
Why
wanted
don't
to
we
see
summon
that.
someone that he's attracted to.
Where do you
Let's
think
not
he-
ruin this from him.
Where's it go in? Where's it come out?
Oh.
These are
you
questions
talk
that
to me.
need answering.
I think that. Let's go watch.
Do you reckon it's got to do with acorns?
I don't know what kind of tree that is. I don't know trees.
I reckon it's
You know
got.
trees?
Oh, I know a guy who does though.
I'm just loving the dark grittiness of this campaign.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
the questions
follow
that Gregor
the-
was bringing up are pretty dark and pretty gritty. I have you know.
That's actually, yeah.
I follow them
Splintery,
back.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow them back. And now that he's not dead, I'm gonna go take my reverie and attempt to attune with this thing.
Okay.
I'll head back to
so-
the bar and just tell everyone
Tell everyone what.
about the acorns, man. The world needs
yeah.
to know.
Gregor holds court as you guys return. Aureus, what is your plan for returning to the bar? As I gotta tell you, your new friend doesn't fit.
Yeah, oh, yeah, he's 30 feet tall. Yeah, I mean, we get back into town.
We're
Orius
rolling.
needs. I mean, I assume.
Please get drunk.
Just park him somewhere.
Orius will tell.
I was gonna say park him with Rick and Morty and Gordon. And Gnarl, Carl. Yeah, Gnarl.
Orius would probably tell the
Niles
ends-
Barkley.
Gnarl
To,
Sparkly.
It is Noel Sparkley. It's 100% Noel Sparkley.
Holy shit!
Niles Barkley?
Urban
Okay.
Lady donates £50. Details sent to Josh in a whisper over Twitch. This is.
Fuck.
Okay, so
worry.
Orius would
Holy
would,
shit,
would tell
get some
the
hype.
ant to hang out with the treehouse that's very near the bar, and try not to entice or threaten any of the townsfolk. And he would then go inside the bar, and as he walks in, he would feel a bit queasy, right, and a bit off of his feet.
Yeah.
Really unsure what's happening here. He gets very sick, and he actually vomits on the floor and collapses to his knees.
And it grows incredibly dark.
It
as
must have been
a tree
Acorn.
begins to flourish over the. Maybe he's pregnant. So
Oh my god, do you think it's pregnant? Guys, get a doctor in here.
you watch as sort of like on the outside, like you can see this, Gavin. You look out, having sort of spent some time looking over, making sure that the boy Scab is well.
Yeah.
And you gaze out the window, and he looks up as well as a tree takes root just behind the stable, and then leans over the entire bar. And you watch as its branches open up like a huge canvas, and the bar is now entirely sheltered, sort of from the elements, by this huge tree. Niles Barkley.
Right,
Wow.
right.
Aureus has been busy.
I think he's ill, guys. I think the acorns might have gotten to him. Got to him a wee bit.
I'm on my knees puking right now. Very, very.
It's okay,
nauseous.
breathe, Aureus, breathe. Push.
What's happened
Push.
to Scab?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you while all this is going on and sort of outside, and Aureus is making a mess downstairs, and Clay is sort of contemplating whether or not he can kill someone who's just done all that. You know, you kind of don't want to kill him, but at the same time, he did just throw up on Clay's favorite floor.
Kasner's just trying to talk him out. He's
Yeah,
just like,
it's-
so. How was your day?
Oh, shit.
He pays attention to Kasner. But yeah, you were alone upstairs, sort of checking the boy over. He's badly beaten. He's suffered quite a lot, but he's made of stone stuff, it seems, as he's made it through whatever diseases he had, which were numerous and mostly non-life threatening. You would cure him of, and he now sits in sort of by the hearth in your room, burning at sort of the flames flickering comfortably, and yeah, he looks to you and says, "So, what happens now?"
Well, I'm not sure. We're certainly not leaving you alone. But where we're going is quite dangerous, so we'll have to weigh our options.
Where are you going?
Well, I believe that our direction is towards Lymore. But if that scares Kasna, well, I had a friend who piqued my interest. There's some people that my friend traveled with, and I believe some of their mystery took them to Lymore, and perhaps could help us unravel it.
Oh. Well, what about the others that are going there?
Well, we somehow an interesting family at this point. I can't say necessarily that we all like each other, but I think we're all gonna stick with each other for a little bit longer. Maybe you could stick with us too, but I don't want to put your life in danger. So I think it's going to be what is the least risky of options. Do you think you can get some? Do you think you can get some rest? I'm sure it's been some time.
He nods and he just sort of goes and sits in the corner, ignoring sort of the chairs, the bed, everything like that, and hunkers down in his rags and curls up.
Well, I guess that will do.
And he's almost immediately asleep.
Full belly. That will do that. Someplace warm and safe.
Yeah.
Gavin, is there like a chair or something in the room?
Yeah. There's two chairs.
Gavin sort of pushes a chair sort of in front of where he is in the corner, so in case someone walked in, it wouldn't be an immediate discovery of him. I mean, if someone was searching the room, they'd find him, but it's not going to be that they walk in and immediately discover him. I assume he still has mud and stuff on his face. I'm kind of torn between cleaning him up and then also ruining the disguise. Until we've got a better option, I'm probably just leave him as he is.
Okay.
And the wild magic didn't do anything?
It won't just yet.
Okay, gotcha. So Gavin's going to head back down, actually with work to do, to try to somehow piece together some armor for Kasna. So he's going to head back down to the forge, and gets there and sort of gets started with his work, and once again sort of muttering to the anvil so no one would know that he was talking to anyone else. Well, this is an interesting development. You have some thoughts? Speaking to Hex.
There's a pause, and finally, if you leave him here, he will be discovered and die.
I agree.
If you take him out into Zamora, he will die slower.
I agree. You know, you've lived in my head long enough to know that I'm not going to accept either option.
Well, I leave that to you, but for now, I'd say you've proven your worth. Although I'm not entirely sure I've picked the right vessel, considering how recklessly you stood your ground. I don't know what you're made of, but, well, it was sterner stuff than I was.
It was the two of us who struck the final blow. I appreciate your help.
Creatures backed into a corner are dangerous. Believe many of your men learnt that the hard way during the war.
That is true. It's also the time when you can have the most impact.
I told you that I had a proposition for you.
You did.
There is reason that I have interest in Lymore. You can't simply kill the 5. If you kill the 5, they'll become martyrs and you'll be hunted down by everyone. You'll be killing heroes who saved everyone, who ended the war. You have to destroy their name, their reputation, which means you have to find what they've done, something that will stick, that you can make stick.
Truth is often hard to find, but it's an interesting thing about the truth. Once discovered, it is one of the most powerful weapons in the world.
You have somehow stumbled into something that we were searching for. During the war, near the end, one of our forward bases was hit. Very few people were killed, but they raided a storage facility. There wasn't a lot there, but one of the things that we did keep there were the dead of our enemies. I'm not going to go into the details of what we were doing with them. This relationship is difficult enough as it is. We don't need any more anger. But I will tell you that one of the bodies had something we didn't initially know the value of. Until afterwards, when we replied in kind and took the unit, well, what we thought was the entirety of the unit, they came to reclaim a map. The map was stolen by us and then by another and now lost entirely. It was supposed to return to the Orc Wastes, or the Orc territories. It was supposed to be delivered to a small farm. That's all we know. We don't know which farm, but we do know that it never arrived. Somebody stole it along the way. We believe it is a map that leads to Lymore. We believe it was sent by someone at Lymore. And we were led to believe that there was no one left alive at Lymore.
The song would seem to indicate that.
I think somebody has found it, and I believe they are sending for reinforcements. Something. A second pair of eyes, a rescue party, something. And we believe that the map leading to it is currently being jostled between parties. Someone wants it. I would bet a healthy amount, probably more so than you just made on that bounty, that somehow one of the 5 is pulling the strings, trying to silence whoever it is that actually found Lymore and make sure the map never comes to light. Or maybe they are trying to relocate Lymore or locate Lymore. There's plenty of possibilities that it could be, but I know that the last place that it was seen, this map, was being sold not far from here. There is a small merchant area It's where smugglers congregate. That's what we used it for. I presume it is used in the same way by your people. It has plenty of ways of escaping beneath ground through ratways. There are already stalls and merchants' tents that we never dismantled when this land was retaken. I'm willing to bet that your people have just moved in and taken up roles. And I'm also willing to bet that someone there knows more about it. But whomever it was that stole Kasna seems to have an interest in it as well. So, I think we are working against the clock here, and I think it is within everyone's best interest to find out where they are going and how they are getting there.
What are your thoughts on this boy? Where would they find a tiefling who is not being
Probably
fiend
cowering.
touched?
Not all of them were, only the warriors. The civilians were just trying to live a normal life. It's hard for someone on the other side to understand this, but we have civilians too. We had families we tried to feed and protect, same as you.
Understood.
Young, malnourished, he's probably been living in this shithole of a land for some time now.
Yes, the children always suffer the most when war comes knocking. I will see how I can influence the party. I believe Zune has got a bug in her ear about Limor as it is, so any hint that we might be able to find it, I'm sure she will be an ally in this.
Well, if it's where this group that kidnapped Kasna are going to, then it's a chance that they have the book she looks for. There is also the point that Zumora is one of the most cursed lands there has ever been. But it is not entirely barren like the wastes. Aureus might be interested in trying to rekindle some form of life there. And there's plenty to kill.
Kasna will be happy.
I would warn you, even when we took the Orc territories and pushed you out of Breckendale, we didn't enter Zumora. Not if we could help it. The land has no friends and no allies. Be warned.
I thank you.
And I'm going to leave you to ponder some of that, because I have to sort something else out. So, real quick. Zune.
Nope. I'm sleeping.
You,
Nope.
Zune,
Sleeping.
you're at the bar.
You're about to wake up.
You're at the bar. You have a helmet on.
Mm.
Conjuration helmet of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't figure out what it does. But there are a lot of people around, and it's incredibly difficult to concentrate. Everyone is yelling. There's noise coming from upstairs. This is the loudest place in the world right now. So Zune,
I do my best to
mean
keep a happy face on, but I need to.
I don't mean to hijack you at all, I promise. But Zune heads outside to get some fresh air, heads to the stables. And Zune, you find there is a wagon that is coming by. That is actually being pulled out of the stable. And there is a man. This man is stooped, wearing a long black cowl that is torn and shredded. And he looks up at you. And as he walks over towards you, he leaves behind a cart that is entirely filled with oddities, you can see strange things, what look to be kids' toys, but that are almost these tiny little hangman and noose sets. You see sort of all manner of creepy, sort of deformed, pickled things floating in jars. And he comes towards you, almost toothless grin, smiling. You.
Yes,
I know you.
many do. I'm one of the Undying Heroes.
You are not. You are not a hero.
She fixes a glare upon him. Who are you?
I am a traveler.
I kind of look my eyes over into his things, take a quick assessment of the weird things that he has. Indeed, you are.
I'm leaving this land. But I would appreciate some aid. Our work needs to continue. You understand?
What work? Whom do you work for?
I work for those who need no introduction, seek no introduction. I work for someone beyond us, beyond the other side, beyond the veil.
Praise Kyrionsely.
Shh! Be silent.
I'm her chosen.
You are. And I have a gift for you. Come with me. And he sort of shuffles very slowly, clinking. He has sort of like what appears to be a satchel, and you can hear bottles clinking around in it. And he sort of stumbles over to this cart, and he opens up the back, sort of.
As quietly as possible. Oh wait, I still have it attached to me, the dagger of venom, and I just kind of put my arms on my back. Yeah, so I just kind of I look over my shoulder to make sure no one's following me, and I go and see what this gentleman has. You are a servant of Kyrionsely. Does he have anything on him? Any silver rings? Anything that marks him as?
Nope.
Is he alive?
Smells terrible, but he smells alive. He looks like he's on nodding terms with death. He's very old looking. He appears to be human, although his face is quite horribly scarred. And you notice that he has sort of scars around his ears as you're sort of standing quite close to him, behind him. It almost looks like he's rounded off his ears ever so slightly. So there's a chance he could be
a long time ago. I kind of start muttering to myself to see if he pays any attention. A long time ago in the town of Glenmore.
He pauses and turns. You. You are like someone else. Someone not like you. Someone not like us. He sang that song as well.
You have a few moments of my attention before I go and round up everyone in that bar and pin you to the wall with daggers.
Oh, I do relish that. But I believe that you stand by someone else's grace. And I also believe that you would do best not to anger that person by interrupting her other many servants' work. You may be the chosen, but do not mistake. You are still far from complete.
She bites her tongue.
He reaches out and places down a box just on the edge of the this cart, and he snaps something, a latch, and carefully, with a creak, opens up this fetid box. This box that looks like it's gnarled and bitten and burnt and draped in leather, we're going to say. And he opens it, and inside there is like just blackness. It's almost as if it swallows up the light.
You have a box of the void.
No,
She
I have a gift for you. Come here, child.
She edges closer. This person seems to be a servant of Curiosity.
And he reaches out and sort of takes your arm at the elbow. And
I give him
brings-
the one without the dagger, so if he tries anything funny, the first thing I'm doing is stabbing him in the eye.
And he runs his hand down, and then he feels the metal. And he reaches out, and he slides his cold, clammy hand up your sleeve and twists. And you feel flesh tear as he begins to twist off, screw off this manacle-like creation that Gavin has created for you.
I make sure that I show no pain whatsoever to the best of my ability, and
He
that does not
Dead
affect
eye
me.
contact with you. Roll me a con save just to not grimace in pain.
I'm trying my very best. Nope. Did that go? Oh no, never mind. Okay, despite my best
Yeah, no.
efforts.
You tears in your eyes, sort of biting your lip, trying not to scream, as you feel sort of the rusted, sort of bad. It's not bad craftsmanship. It's just the best you could do, and you feel it begin to flay the skin from your stump, and it comes away with almost like a peel, like you have would get from a vegetable peeler, but it is your own skin.
I make
And,
a mental note to have Kazna flay me more often so that I don't succumb to pain.
And he drops it on the floor and reaches into the box, and he pulls out a very pale, very cold hand.
My eyes go wide, and I look at him dead in the eye. What are you about?
I am about cheating death, same as you. And he presses the sort of stump, and you can see like a ragged tear that has pulled this hand free. And he pushes the bone, puncturing sort of the stump at the end of your hand. It's incredibly painful, and you feel bone grate against bone. And he closes his clammy, cold, bony hand, around your wrist, covering it, and he mutters something. And as sort of you clench your jaw in absolute agony, you also clench your fist. And we're going to end it there.
Motherfuckers.
God damn.
You have Irvin Lady to thank. She gave you a
I
hand.
have a hand.
But
I have
is it
a
a specific
hand.
hand?
It doesn't matter. I get
Chas-
it.
Chas- Chas-
Please, no
Party
hand
want to
effect,
know.
no.
I don't care. I have a hand.
It's not to be said. It is a hand. But
Good God.
yes.
Well,
Swear to
that's
God.
exciting and terrifying.
I am going to make those who doubted me rue the day I can cast all of my spells with one hand.
Shit. What have we done, boys?
Everybody run.
Yeah. Well, my friends, that is where we're going to wrap up tonight's episode of The Long March. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow, and you can find our schedule for a new season of shows that's starting next week with all new seasons of shows, all new games happening, although The Long March is continuing. I believe The Long March may be the one show which is continuing on exactly as it was before. So, yeah, we've got a packed schedule coming up. So
We really are
it's going to be
the
good.
long march.
We did the thing.
I'll go back
we
to
didn't
Edinburgh.
say.
I'll
Did we
see you
somehow
guys.
not say it this
Well,
time?
yeah,
we
we-
didn't say it last week either, and I was trying to find a way to squeeze it in the end, and I was
Yeah.
like, there's nothing, there's no pun, so
damn.
we owe
Good damn.
one to the crowd.
Oh, I could have done it talking to Hex. So you're saying it's a long march. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Damn
go.
it.
Maybe we're getting better in this. We're leveling up. Our pun game is getting stronger. But hey, that's all going to wrap up for today. Of course, back tomorrow with the finale of Call of Cthulhu Horror on the Orient Express. It's going to be a fucking big one, my friends. There's going to be so many people dying in that episode, so come along. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern is when we start that game. And we have a slightly reduced schedule, so I don't have a 4 p.m. game happening tomorrow because I'm finishing working on the website, which is sucking years away from me. But yeah, that will be finished for September 4th of our big relaunch. If you guys enjoyed today's show, please do follow us next week. All new seasons are starting, all new podcasts are launching, the new website's launching, the YouTube's launching, the new Patreon's launching, the new magazine's launching, the new Discord. The list fucking goes on and on, my friends. It's going to be a big one. Let's go around the cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find one another online? Let's start with Louise, who we accept once again as our friend.
Oh, yay! I'm back. I'm really back now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, take what I can get. Yeah, I'm Louise. I play Kasna. I'm super happy to be back. I've missed this so much. I've missed you guys so much. I've missed everything so much. Not as much as Laura's missed having hands, but I've missed it. You can find me on Twitter at No More No Less. I'm here on Twitch at Accidental Legend, where I'm returning to streaming tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST, which I'm also very excited for. And I'm very excited to see the viewer decision. What do I remember about my life?
Well,
Can't wait for that to come into play.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, it will be nice, and I'm sure you've all been kind to me.
Good goodness. All right, fantastic. Go follow Louise there on Twitch and Twitter. Erho, yourself.
Oh, yeah, you can find me at Erho TV on Twitter and Twitch. I don't really stream anymore because I'm very busy with HGC and stuff, which is what I do for a job. Competitive gamer. So yeah, Orius had some fun today. He awakened an Ent, which was awesome. And he can't wait to start marching around with that thing.
Had a vigil.
He had a vigil.
Converted people to Sylvanus, which is very impressive, actually. It's hard to get people to take up a new faith.
Hopefully, I don't know. I had a pretty good performance. Hopefully, some of those people became devout of Sylvanus.
Fantastic. Laura Lania.
I have a hand. I can one-handed clap now. I can cast spells.
That's a thing.
I have a hand. I'm Laura Lania. You can find me here on Twitch, on Twitter at MyTiaZimmer. And yeah, I have a hand. I have a motherfucking hand. It's been like 4 episodes with no hands.
Yeah, you stuck it through, to be fair.
It was fucking hard. It is hard. But I'm also still going to continue practicing pedomancy.
Oh, I know you are, love. I know you are. You're always in my heart going to be the head of the pedos. Fantastic. I was going to segue into saying, speaking of which, but let's not, because he's never been charged. Josh.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's
Only
blast.
arrested.
I'm gonna have to wrap up quick, unfortunately, because I have loads of stuff to sort out tonight. But yeah, it's wonderful. It's nice when you can draw people like Long March goals. Have a hand.
Have a hand.
Welcome to D&D at its finest. Literally, just have all of my body. That's all I want. I want to be closer to building up to all of my body. Yeah. You can find me here on Mondays and Tuesdays. Next Monday, dude, terrible things are happening. But if you can't wait for next Monday for terrible things to happen in Tomb of Annihilation, which is just going to be absolutely insane, and you feel like your life needs more crushing, soul-destroying stuff, then check out some Turncloaks on podcast, because it's fucking great. And someone else who will vouch for how fucking great Turncloaks is let's throw it over to my man.
It's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I am just humbled and honored to be a part of that podcast, because it is crazy. And I wanted to give big giant throw out to our audio guy, Bastian, who makes us sound and the
It's
episodes
so
come to
good.
life. So, catch this one from the beginning, folks, because you're going to want to follow this podcast because Will is weaving the most insanely crazy story. And I think every one of us as cast members are just in awe of the others because of how into it I think we all get, probably a little like not healthy.
A little
into
too
it.
into it.
Otherwise, you can find me here on Tuesdays and then also on my channel on Saturdays at 2:00. We are off for Labor Day, but we will be back all through the fall at 2 p.m. and would love to see you there. We are doing a little special release for Labor Day, some extra content that we recorded. We had our first player death and under mysterious circumstances. So if you want to find out more about the mysterious things that happened around that player death, check out our YouTube channel or check out Twitter, and you will hear the announcements and links to that.
Fantastic. Yeah. Gonna join in my own circle jerk for Turncloaks. Go have a listen to it. First episode's out, as well as 2 origin stories. Go have a listen. We've also got a special Tomb of Annihilation, the podcast of Annihilation episode coming out September 19th. Wizards of the Coast are going to be releasing that alongside us, a bunch of other podcasts. Super excited for that. You guys, man, I screwed those guys so bad. Anyway, go follow these guys and their own projects. We'll see you again same time next week for more of the Long March, and of course tomorrow for the Call of Cthulhu finale. But until next time, my friends, try not to draw too many nat ones because I want to be laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Goodbye.